Yo, welcome to another episode of the Plus on the Block podcast, episode 12. I know we wasn't here last week, but hey, it wasn't too much to talk about, man. But we did do a DNF duel open lobby that last Saturday. We gonna get to it today, man, because no intro, none of that stuff, man. We got some special guests here. What up, Phil? Thank you for coming through, bro. We got some special guests here, man. This is actually really cool. This is something that we've been trying to build up to, and we're really gracious that these two gentlemen that came on. Of course, I got my man Dre. You know what I'm saying? My New York brother.
Yo,
What's good,
hey,
Joe?
it's good, man.
Yeah. So our special guest today, man, we have two guys that obviously are embedded in the FGC. They have one of the best, if not the best, website of the FCC, man. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know any other website from the FCC. I'm
Uh,
giving the stack. So we have my man Catalyst here, and we have Raptor. Man, say what's up to the people.
Hey everyone, how you guys doing? This is Catalyst, John. Or I should just go by Catalyst because my partner's name is also John. John Velociraptor. Go ahead and say
Yo,
hi to everyone.
Hey everyone, I'm here too.
hey,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So Catalyst or John, he is the president of Eventhubs, and my man Velociraptor is head of broadcasting and is the front page editor of the page. We all use Event Hubs, man, and yeah, I'm really happy about this, man. This is actually really cool. So we're gonna jump straight into it, man. We're not gonna waste no more time. I kind of want to start with you, Catalyst, since you are the president. Like when you started Event Hubs in 2007, and you kind of see like the evolution when it comes to technology, how people get information and stuff like that. How have you guys adapted to that? And well, I'll say first, what made you want to start the website, and then how did you adapt to everybody wanting information so fast, and we're kind of moving away when it comes to websites and stuff like that?
Yeah, well, one of the big things is back in the day, I was going on the SRK forums, and it was just really hard to get people to engage with you in a cordial manner at all. They all
Yeah.
wanted to call you a scrub and just say you were the worst person alive for
yeah,
asking a question there. And so I'm like, wow, like I really love fighting games, and I'd like to share this with other people. And so that's kind of how the fighting game, like it's how it took off for us. And then in terms of like how we deliver content and stuff, we generally kind of look at what wasn't being served in the community at all. We're kind of like the last standing website for fighting game coverage. There's a few others out there, but they're kind of smaller and newer. We're 15 years in now, but we look heavily at what isn't being covered, and of course, we're always catering heavily to our audience. Whatever we see people want to check out, like that's the stuff that goes up. I always joke with people that if it was up to me, I would post nothing but super turbo content all day long because that's my favorite. But like
Hell
that's
yeah.
what I grew up on, right? So, but
Hell yeah.
yeah.
I mean, what about you, Raptor? Like you being in the scene and you seeing how fighting games have evolved. Like how do you feel like Event Hub was being like one of the last standing websites, and how people actually use this to this day? Like I've been using Event Hubs for a very long time because
yeah,
it's easy to get to. The information is there. It's not kind of like crowded. You know how some websites be crowded and it's hard to find things. So how do you feel about that and the success you guys have had with this website?
I have been relatively happy with the fact that Event Hubs has, been successful and continued to be successful. And we were talking about this yesterday. How long have I been here? Like 7 or 8 years now. And even in that time, like I've seen things change, policies, the way we approach because of, well, you guys know, being on YouTube,
yeah,
the game changes constantly. And like what was working yesterday, the arrows that have to be in a thumbnail or the capitalization that has to be in a headline, that changes, every other day and stuff. And same thing is true with how people consume their news, their content and everything. So yes, we have been very fortunate, but that comes because, like Catalyst over here, and also I got to shout out Dream King and the whole Event Hubs team. Like
Yeah.
it's people that are willing to think around corners and that really love and have a passion for fighting games. Although those passions differ, and so it just develops this well-rounded team. And I think you see that manifest on the front page because you'll have content that's about a lot of different stuff. And when I go back and I look at it, different articles. I'm attracted to different things in the FGC and everything. But I look at Event Hubs and I'm proud of that. Like I'm proud to be a part of it. And so far it's been so good. So yeah.
That's pretty amazing, man. Like I said, like when you hear people. I can hear the passion in your voice, and I know
Yeah.
that you really care. And I feel like with games, you know, I feel like a lot of people act like they're passionate about fighting games, but they're not really passionate, and that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But when people try to put up a front about it, and they're just trying to get like $1, it's different when you actually like to do something and you are successful, or you're just trying to get into it for a monetary value or anything like that, and it doesn't work out, and you can kind of see people try and they fail all the time, bro. But Drake, you got anything to say, bro?
How long have you event has been around? Like,
Mhm.
I know I've been
We're
using it for a few years, but when did you guys start this?
2007 actually. It's a we're
2000.
just celebrating our 15-year anniversary now. So
Oh,
we've been
okay.
at this for quite a while. And to talk a little bit about what Chuck was saying there, passion really does rule the day for us here. All of us are trained in different arts and vocations and all that kind of stuff, and we could all kind of do something else, I think, with our lives,
Yeah.
and probably make more money than we're making now. Not that we're
True.
complaining. We get to do fighting games full time. That's the best thing ever, but that's why we do it. Like this
Yeah.
is a huge passion project for all of us. We love doing this, so it's awesome, man. I get to wake up and hang out with my best friends, like on the internet and stuff like that, and we all work together, we all game together. Like this is, it's just we eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. So it's a lot of fun, actually.
That's really cool, man. And I feel like that's how me and Dre are. I text Dre all the time. Like me and Dre, we talk pretty much every single day,
Yeah.
fighting game wise. Shout out to my man Barty. Like we literally talk about fighting games every single day, whether it be setups, whether it be did you watch this tournament, or this character is cheap.
Yeah.
We all kind of deal with that
Right.
nonsense.
Right now
We,
we're on the DNF train right now.
yeah, we definitely
You
on
know.
the end of Trey. I mean, what do you guys are playing currently?
Yeah.
I mainly play Street Fighter V. I'm on the road to Ultimate Grandmaster. I'm almost there, and then I'm thinking about going for Warlord. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not, but playing in
Who's
tournaments and stuff. And
who's
then
your,
I've
who's your
got
character? Sorry.
Rose. Yeah, Rose.
Rose. Okay.
Yeah,
You raised the
yeah,
yeah. I know you're
yeah,
excited. You seen that reveal character. I mean, reveal
yeah,
trailer. I know you're excited.
yeah.
Oh man.
So I've actually been playing Third Strike more than anything else, and I'm no whiz at Third Strike either. But just out of nowhere, I have the 30th anniversary collection. My buddy Tyler and I've kind of five for me right now is kind of meh in terms of playing. I'm happy to cover
Yeah.
it and write about it and such, but it's just it doesn't really attract me to play anymore. But going back to Third Strike, because of some of the things that it tries to, or that you have to know how to do in order to be successful at Third Strike, plus the fact that parry is going to be a big part of this next game coming up. So
Yes.
getting used to what that means, not only executing it, but getting used to what it means in the gameplay, I think is going to try kind of help me prepare for Street Fighter 6 in a way that I want to be ready for. And I also like to try to approach each game a little bit differently and see if a new angle is good for me. So I haven't figured out what that's going to be for 6 yet, but I'm trying to broaden my horizons a little bit. So I've been playing a lot of 3.
So have any of you guys gotten your hands on 6 yet?
Yeah, I went and played it at Evo.
Okay.
We covered quite a bit of it, but yeah, I
Yeah.
got to play it.
Okay. So what was the difference you would say from 5 to 6 right now? Do you see that's significant?
Yeah, good question. I would say the biggest thing is the way the drive system works, as opposed to V, the V
Right.
system. And the V system is really just kind of this overpowering thing, where you kind of get to the if you get to V trigger, like the whole match changes entire
Yeah.
scale and scope and everything.
Right.
And in Street Fighter 6, I think the biggest difference is that they really want you kind of monitoring your resources and then kind of using all the systems together instead of just doing the one powerful thing and just kind of letting that roll through people.
Right.
So right now, I think that Street Fighter 6 is trying to approach the game with more nuance. We don't know what's going to be good, what's going to be the cheap stuff that everyone flocks to, right? Like
Yes.
that's going to decide what the game is. But right now, I would say that the diversity of gameplay is really what stands out to me with Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I know that's the main thing I see a lot of people talking about is like Street Fighter 6 so far seems like it's relying heavily on footsies and stuff like that. And like whiffing buttons is a dangerous thing to do
Yeah.
from what I've been seeing, so it's all about the neutral and the footsie game, and and I'm really enjoying for what I've been seeing. Like I've been playing Street Fighter 5 since the beta, what I'm saying. I haven't played in a few while, but I've been there and I understand, a lot of people had issues with that with the V system. Definitely agree. with the issue because it's just a glorified combat mechanic, as everybody say it, call it. But so Street Fighter Six, I'm really looking forward to the draft system and seeing the diversity and how the people use the mechanic and all that stuff. I feel like Street Fighter Five is the one thing I complained about until later on. A lot of things was looking the same. Everybody's character was looking the same. There's not much difference you could do with the character until later on they start releasing Seth and Gil where they started going crazy with the characters. But I'm definitely looking forward to see what Street Fighter Six brings with the characters. They're looking dope as hell so far, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Dre, that's actually a really good point. One of the things about playing Ryu right from the start is that his moveset is probably the most expansive moveset he's ever had in a Street
Right.
Fighter game. And you feel that with all the four of the playable characters so far, Jamie, Luke, and Chun-Li. Even Luke, who's fairly cookie cutter in my opinion. Like he's
Yeah.
got a good bit more amount of moves in
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6, and he feels like a more fleshed out character in that game than he does in 5 already. So I think that's something that the developers heard really loud and clear, and they're
Yeah.
trying to address right from the get go, where it's like, hey, here's more options, here's more of the stuff you guys kind of love. It's deeper, or at least it should be, until everyone finds the cheap stuff and just does that over
Yes.
and over again. Shouts to Drive Impact. That's our current
Yep.
suspect of like the OP move, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, I wanted to go ahead.
I was going to say, I mean, that's a great point. I think right now it's safe to say that Jamie looks the best, in my opinion. Shout out to Flawless Deku. He
Yeah, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
really put that character like, yo, this character looks
Yep.
insane. And I feel like the Drive Rush. That's the green one, right?
Yeah. The Drive Rush. Yep.
Yeah. I think that's really gonna change the game for a lot of characters in this game. Especially grapplers. I'm already
I'm,
scared, man.
I'm really, yeah. I'm really excited to see.
I'm really scared. What do you guys, Raptor? What you think about Drive Rush when it comes to like grapplers and how that's really going to open up the game? Because we learned now that Drive Rush actually changes the frame data on certain moves and normals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting because we spoke with another content creator yesterday, but this is live, so this is coming out first. So
There you go.
we talked about this,
You heard it first.
but
You heard it
you
first.
guys got it first. So here it is.
Hey, let's go.
So Drive Rush. First of all, what that does, you can do it out of either a normal, and that costs 3 bars, right? And then, or you
Right.
can do it out of parry, and I think that only costs 2 bars.
Right.
Depending on how fast you're able to do something after you come out of that drive rush, where you've just suddenly sprung forward, and it looks like you can do a lot of things really quickly, that might be the new kind of dash when Street Fighter V had input lag and no one could react to dashes. You remember that? It's like you were either
Yeah.
reacting to dashes or jumps, and it was kind
Yes.
of crazy. So that looks pretty good. Now, if you pair it with the parry, when someone sees that blue aura after you've played enough, that's going to send a message to you that you're like, okay, my opponent's doing something where I
Yeah.
don't want to
Yes.
attack them. So
Yeah.
you're going to probably be encouraged to freeze up. And then they do that forward dash. Did your mind update and did you realize it's time to do something in
Right.
time before they do something? So, and then if you did push a button, maybe they parried you first, and then they're at an advantage in that way. If they're canceling out of it and getting rid of the recovery animation, I also think of it kind of like Zangief's V skill 1 in Street Fighter V, right? Because if you
Yeah.
are throwing out heavies trying to poke Zangief or fireballs, he's just going to absorb that and basically FADC at you and command grab you.
Yeah.
So, with that in mind, this might be a grappler's type of game. That's interesting,
I love
So it's all speculation, right? Until we see it in practice. But
I feel it,
that's
man.
yeah.
Excited. I'm
Definitely
excited.
feel it.
And from what I saw from the parries too, like the parries, I know a lot of people were going crazy about it, but I'm like, it's not as um like good. I'm not saying it's not good, but the way people use it, because it seems like it has a lot of recovery too when you whiff it. So like speaking of that, like just throwing out parries is not a good idea all the time, So you have to be careful,
Yeah, what do you think about that, Calais? I mean, you played the game, so what do you like the whole parry system? I mean, because you can hold down the buttons, right?
Yeah.
You can hold down the buttons, but your recovery when you do that is fairly long. And so if someone's throwing out a medium or a light, there's no chance in heck that you've got any way to really punish them. You've got to do a perfect parry in that scenario. And then a perfect parry is, I don't know if it's frame perfect, like just 1 frame or 2 frames or what it is, but that's really your only way to anticipate a move and then to punish it kind of on reaction.
Right.
And maybe a heavy or, something like Guile's like double sweep kick or something like that. Yeah, sure, you could parry that and, bust it up. But for the most part, parry felt very different than how it is in Third Strike, and it's got its uses, but also there's a decent amount of input delay on the Evo setup, so it wasn't the easiest thing to pull off. And then I don't know what the frame data is for any of the characters at all, so it's like, well, I could try to parry that, but like I'm probably gonna get my ass handed to me. So
I have a question. I actually have a question for Catalyst. I'm on you guys' show, and I'm asking him a question.
Man, go ahead.
But okay. So as you guys are talking about, there's 2 sort of versions of parry in 6, right? And one of them is you hold it and it has, even if you parry something, you still have to recover, so it's not as good. Fair enough. And unless you're parrying like a super, like Jamie's like breakdance fighting super, where there's a bunch of hits and you're gaining a bunch of meter back for doing it, I feel like that's probably almost not a good tool to be using. I think when we say parry in Street Fighter 6, what it's going to come to refer to is perfect parry, which, okay, so to me, that looks like Third Strike parry, just like all the time, because you have to have that kind of precision to parry almost anything in Third Strike. Am I right? So you're really, like, if you think of perfect parry as Third Strike parry, I feel like it's gonna operate in that same way. And instead of it being a forward or down motion, is the input for it good on both highs and lows, John, or is it?
Yeah,
okay.
It's you'll hit everything as far as I know. I don't think you have to crouch and then hit medium and the medium buttons to parry or whatever. I think you enter a stance and whatever comes at your way except for throws gets negated. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I would think that's an even better, in certain ways, like a more effective or an easier to pull off. That's what it is. It's an easier to pull off version of Third Strike's parry when you're talking about Street Fighter 6's perfect parry. Wouldn't that influence things in the same direction as Street Fighter 3 in a certain way? Because you did say, and maybe not in the same way, but you did just say something like, it's kind of different than Street Fighter 3. So.
Well, so the difference is with a perfect parry, I believe you have to hit the medium punch or medium kick buttons within 1 or 2 frames of the move being going to hit you, basically, and then you'll go into the perfect parry and blow them up for it, and that's actually very similar to Third Strike, and it actually reminds me of Street Fighter 3 when it first started out. I was playing it in the arcades back in the day, and it's like no one was parrying at first. We were all playing it like it was Street Fighter 2, and it was very similar going to Evo and playing Street Fighter 6. Everyone's playing it like it's Street Fighter 5. I'm playing Punk on the setups, and he's like, man, this is like Street Fighter 5.5. That's where the quote came from, and he was talking to other players as well. But as you guys mentioned, though, aside from the parry, and we'll get back to it here in a second, is the drive rush, which was really powerful. Justin Wong actually came up to Punk and said, hey, start doing the drive rush, and like it shifted our matches around. I was doing better, and then that happened. But
I saw that video. So he was playing against you. I got you. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The parry system, I really think that it is not going to be nearly as good as it is in Third Strike, because Third Strike, it really created this whole new level of meta, and it negated fireballs. It negated some of the strategies you could have, like anti-airs weren't a guaranteed thing because someone could parry your anti-air attempt as you were jumping in and then throw you for it and all this other kind of stuff. And I think Capcom's really cognizant of that, because it basically negated too many aspects of what people enjoy about Street Fighter and basically put them in the background and said, like, you're only going to focus on footsies and supers and a few other things, where I think they want to keep all these options on the table, and I think that they want everything to be uniquely strong for the style of play that you want to incorporate.
Yeah, and I think also for the Third Strike parry, it's kind of like a high level thing to do. You have to be on point with everything, right? And the way like fighting games in general to go right now, I don't think they want to be that difficult for people that they're trying to get these people to pick up and get into fighting games. I don't think they want it to be that difficult to do. So they just say hit these 2 buttons. If you hit it at the right time, you're good. You can just hold it, negate everything. But I just think they're just trying to make things a little bit more welcoming now and not as difficult.
Yeah. Well, and then also, again, I think that Street Fighter 6 is going to be easy mode parry compared to what we're used to in Street Fighter 3. In 3, I mean, look at moment 37. You've got to parry and time all of the hits of any given sequence. In this, if you get perfect parry, you go into that animation, I think you just get to do the move. So like, moment 37 would have been just the first thing, and that would have been it. If
Yeah.
and show you like the difference in difficulty.
Right.
Okay. So let me ask you guys this. I mean, like, so we've been in a age where I say probably like the last 5 6 years, they've been trying to like, I'm not gonna say dumb down, but more so trying to get more players in, making games that we all thought that were hard back in the day, like a la Guilty Gear and stuff like that. They're making them easier. How do you guys feel about that? And does those type of decisions actually hurt the game long term? You go
Yeah.
ahead, or Callus, whoever wants to go.
Uh, I was going to mention that it actually started clear back even in the alpha days. With Street Fighter Alpha 1, the developers said that they really wanted to level the playing field with Street Fighter 2 players who had mastered the game. Clearly, they hadn't mastered it, but that was a statement from the developers. They felt that some of the players were so good, they really wanted to even the playing field, so to speak. And so this has actually been throughout the history of fighting games that we have seen the developers try to even the playing field, and the results for that are fairly mixed. You have something like Street Fighter V, which is not beloved in the community, and some of Capcom's messaging from the get-go was like, "Hey, everyone can win. Anyone can, pick." And it's like, you don't want to say that about your fighting game. Like, you don't, you don't want to have, a random player like just, 2-0 Daigo in a tournament and be like, "Here we go." And so I do think there's numerous instances actually in the fighting game community that the developers have went too far in trying to level that playing field and diminishing the skill factor of things. And the balance is really in keeping the skill factor in there, but also making the game very fun to play at the same time. I think that's extremely important, but it is so easy to botch that balance in there.
What about
I
you?
think
What you think? Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. I think you have to have a certain amount of difficulty for basically the reasons that Catalyst just laid out. If it's too easy, it loses all its meaning. It's like if anyone can win, it's like, well, we're not comparing the skill of one person and the problem solving and the ability to figure the other person out like a puzzle in real time. Like all of that goes out the window if it's too simplified. But what I think, like a more specific approach to this idea that they're dumbing down games, it's like they could just dumb it down. But I think the right thing to do is to move the difficult things further down the chain of development into the game, right? So like as you're learning the game, the first stuff that you do should be easy, should be obvious and conspicuous. You should know that you're doing something right. It should give you, that dopamine hit, and it should be easy to do. And then as you develop that, as that fun thing happens and it keeps pulling you back to play because you want to do the fun thing over and over again, you're like, well, I could go from just regular parrying everything, for instance, in Street Fighter 6, to practicing hitting perfect parries. And now that I have all the basics around me, it's easier for me to transition into doing one of those things. So the important thing is to make the more difficult, complex stuff, you have to have it at a certain level, but have it further down the learning scale so that people can get really comfortable with it, feel good, feel big about themselves, beat arcade mode, feel like you're the best because you can beat the computer without, losing a round, and then go to ranked and realize you're going to learn today, but not in reverse order.
That's actually a good point because I look at games like, Mortal Kombat 11 specifically, or even Mortal Kombat 10 or Injustice. They have a lot of great single player content to where, you don't really have to jump online right away. They got a long story mode. They got the Multiverse and Injustice 2, I believe, and the Crypt
I got a
Combat
crit.
11. So they got all these things to where, okay, if I really want to learn the game, I can, but if I don't, then I'm cool with that. And I feel like I wish most games just do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because when you kind of I hate the word dumb down, but when you make things easier to where everybody can do the same thing, and it kind of like dilutes the game a little bit, and it's like I don't want to play the game because I'm like I put in all this time, and this person just learned this one combo, and I'm getting waxed. You know what I'm saying? Like I should be some type of balance there to where the person who spends the most time in the game should beat the
It's
player.
the most reward, right?
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it shouldn't be like, oh, I could just learn a couple combos and I could just wash everybody. So I feel like they're trying to learn. They're trying to bridge that gap. And it's been hitting and misses. I think DNF Duel is a game where it's like I feel like everybody can do the same thing per se, and it's like
Yeah.
little tweaks to where oh, I know if you're good or not. If a person uses conversions in DNF Duel, then you understand they understand the game more. But you don't even need that
Yeah,
in
right,
the
right.
game to be good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's what I'm saying. Like or like a game like Guilty Gear Strive. I think Guilty Gear Strive, when the game first came out, everybody was doing the same thing. It was so bad guy, it was just the same characters over and over and over again, and there was really no different. Nobody seemed like different. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
there's no diversity, right?
yeah, I think Street Fighter Six, in my opinion, they look in that Nether realms, bro. It's like, okay, we got this whole world tour thing. We about to do.
Right. I was about to bring that up. Yeah.
Yeah, we got all this other stuff to do. And if you really, because I feel like Street Fighter 6 is going to be scummy. I mean, what do you guys think? Me personally, I think this game is going to be scummy as hell, man. Like, I really do. Callis, what you think? Like, I know
Oh
it's
yeah.
not out yet, but I think this game is going to be really, really scummy, man. Go ahead. What you think, man?
Well, I'm a notorious thrower. I love to throw people. If you give me an opportunity to do a big combo or just throw you for the KO, I want to throw you. That is really what I want to do. And they've beefed up the throw ranges.
Yeah. That touring
and
is crazy. It's
yeah.
just a reset. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
But yeah, go
yeah.
ahead.
So it's going to be. I agree with your assessment there. I think that there's going to be a callback to more of the traditional footsies, but those are going to be coupled with that flash, that scummy nature of like, okay, now you got to hold something if I've worked my way up to this. Where I think the counterbalance is going to be from Street Fighter V is that it felt too unearned in that game. It's like I got beat up and now I stuck a normal on you and I activated V trigger and I'm plus a
Right.
billion and now you got to hold this crazy mix up.
Yeah.
Now. We didn't know that at first. We didn't know the game worked that way, and it took time for that to evolve. But as soon as we figured it out, it was over. Like everyone was doing it. It was the easiest thing ever to do, and it really led to a lot of bad gameplay. And it's not a great way to set up your game. We haven't found that yet in Street Fighter 6, but there's going to be. I'm not going to say the same thing because I don't think that's the case. But I think there's going to be an equivalent that pisses everyone off. But the key there is what are the counters? What are going to be the counters to that, and how easy are they to do?
What about you, Raptor? How do you feel about that?
Well, on the basic idea of it, I think that virtually every fighting game that we've seen thus far has some obvious, ridiculous, overpowered stuff. But some of them are regarded as fun despite all of that, which is so there's that. And yes, Street Fighter 6 will have whatever its best thing is that's a little overpowered. Well, hopefully only a little overpowered, right? But I think that right now, as I look at it, it's the more I think about it, the more complicated it gets because there's all of this balancing act of the drive system and all the different defensive and offensive components of it. And that's just the system. Then there's also supers. There's also playing footsies just generally and the strategies and everything. So all of that, as you start to get into these like speculation scenarios, you go, oh yeah, but then they could do this. And it's like if they DI, well, they could parry or they could DI back or they could neutral jump and there's a whole bunch of so it gets very chaotic very quickly and it doesn't feel like there's going to be so many like yes or no binary answers to a lot of situations. And that's something that I think we've been doing more in Street Fighter V. Street Fighter V had a lot of that by design because they didn't want the option selects. They didn't want too many options. I think we're flowing back in the direction of a lot of options, and that's going to mean a lot of uncertainty. It's not going to be like, well, the right thing to do was for sure this. I mean, there will still be some of that, and especially the old school players will be like, you're doing the wrong thing because that's what old school players do. But
it sounds like a little bit of salt on that statement there.
It is. With his chest, But I mean, speaking of, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
So speaking of that, like, since you love Street Fighter 5 so much, what do you think about? Because we saw that they brought some of the mechanics from 5 bringing into 6. They got a the V reversal or the what they call it, drive.
They used to call that
reversal.
alpha counter, but yeah, drive reversal.
Drive reversal. They have some of the V triggers as some of their supers now, as some of these characters supers are installed and all that stuff. Like, what do you think that's a good idea for them to I know every iteration they're probably gonna bring over something, but what do you think about that? I feel like at least for me the drive reversal is it was a good mechanic for them to bring over, trying to get the pressure off for you, get them out of here. But what do you think about that?
Well, a lot of those things come from even before Street Fighter V. Before V reversal, there was alpha counter, and a lot of the things that got put into V triggers were moves or things that already existed. Not all of them. Like Guile got a new that his little mini booms. That's pretty brand new, as far as I understand it.
Right.
And he's got that back in 6 and its own kind of non V trigger thing. But for the most part, there's like a lot of the V trigger like situations were moves that already existed. Like Urian's Aegis Reflector. Right?
Yeah.
That was a super before.
Yeah.
And so Capcom will do that. They will. I don't want to say recycle, but they'll reuse moves, and people expect that. That's part of the characters.
Right,
and sometimes they'll go away, like the Donkey Kick went away in Street Fighter 4, came back in Street Fighter 5, and you could put all of those different things in different parts of a character's toolkit. So I think we're seeing a lot of that in Street Fighter 6, but I don't know like how much of it is just like the Street Fighter 5 version of it, because like you say, we're not tied to the V system anymore. It's a whole new system, and it has different effects on the characters, and it's universal compared to like kind of individualized for Street Fighter 5. So I don't know.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I kind of like, I feel like we all been hit with like where you're in like medium. Crouch and medium kick Aegis is like you kind of just sit there. It's like, damn, I just got robbed again. Like that was kind of like the basis of Street Fighter 5. Like I love Street Fighter 5. I don't think Street Fighter 5 was a bad game per se, but it was some janky stuff in there, man. It's kind of have to like, all right, bro, you got it, But like going forward, I definitely want to talk about. We've been talking about Street Fighter 6, but just like Capcom as a whole, like what I'm saying. We know that we all heard the story to nauseum about the launch of Street Fighter 5. I don't even like to know more because everybody, what I'm saying, we kind of already been there. But them going into 6, I feel like it feels different. And then we have NetherRealms where a lot of people didn't really like. I'm not gonna say didn't like it. Mortal Kombat 11 was kind of like it was different from what they was used to. It's definitely slow.
They tried some stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely. They called it like Street Fighter Mortal Kombat. Basically, it was really slowed down to a T. So I want to say this. I want to ask you guys this: like going into the next game, like I know Capcom, because I feel like Street Fighter 5 right now is a really good game. You get a really good.
And the state it is in now, yeah.
If you want to buy Street Fighter, even if you've been playing for like the last 2 or 3 years, I feel like the game is good. NetherRealms, this is the longest they ever went without producing a new game. So I want to ask Khaled, like, who do you think who has more to prove in their next game? Even though we haven't seen the NRS game yet, more than likely it's going to be at the Game Awards. I'm pretty sure it's going to be there. But this coming from their current iterations going into the next game, like, what do you feel like? Who has more to prove going forward?
I definitely think Capcom. I know that the hardcore community did not like Mortal Kombat 11 as much, but sales-wise, Mortal Kombat 10 and 11 have done extremely well.
At 12 million.
Hit. Yeah.
And then Warner Brothers is looking for a buyer for NRS right now. They're doing some interesting stuff behind the scenes, and so they've got a good bit at stake. But their track record in recent times, pretty much ever since Mortal Kombat 9, so ever since they rebooted it, they've been doing incredible work and just kind of getting better all around. So I don't think they have a lot to prove. But with Capcom, I mean, they've got Monster Hunter, they've got Resident Evil, and all those games have basically surpassed Street Fighter now in terms of popularity and sales. And so this is the granddaddy of fighting games. It's the one that really popularized the genre. And so I think that Capcom, hands down, has a good bit more to prove with this game than NRS.
I agree with that. Yep.
What about you, Raptor? What do you think?
I think so too. I think all of that other stuff that Capcom is excelling at and has been with Monster Hunter, Resident Evil, that kind of stuff, that's sort of its own thing. I mean, it's related, but as far as Street Fighter goes, it was a boom for Street Fighter 4. There was so much momentum, so much that it affected the rest of fighting. And then Capcom also did Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Boom. Yep. And then they did 5 and they did Infinite. And it's been I don't want to it hasn't been a dark age, right? It's not that. But dude, it's been pretty dark though. I mean, like the Marvel vs. Capcom franchise is kind of dead right now, and then Street Fighter 5 has had a very tumultuous journey. And but all that said, I do think that going into 6, we've seen so much in the way of them updating and changing the way that they do things, because people have been mad, and somehow the fans stuck around long enough, at least for Street Fighter, and they've updated, they've begun to communicate with us.
Yep.
So and develop the games. Like they put in these defensive mechanics. They show that they're listening. So I think we're going to get a lot of what we want in Street Fighter 6. Hopefully we wanted the right things, right? That are actually going to be fun. But I do think that Capcom has a little more to prove right now because they've been in something of a dark age of the last generation of games.
Yeah, I agree with
What you
that.
think? What you think, Dre? Go ahead, bro.
Nah, I definitely agree. I absolutely love the way Capcom is promoting Street Fighter 6 right now. They everywhere right now with it, and as we already spoke with the launch of 5, yeah, they got a lot to prove on their way back. I said this a lot, man. I'm so shout out to Ono, you know what I'm saying? He did his thing when he was there, but it was definitely time for some new blood in this. And I'm pretty sure these guys was on 5 also, but they weren't directed or nothing. So I'm glad that we have the new faces coming in and changing things up and like really putting it out there. As you said, they're listening to everybody. They have every showcase, they're showing it off everywhere, getting as many hands on it as possible. And I'm really excited for Tokyo Game Show next week, because I'm ready
Oh
to
yeah,
see
I'm
the
looking forward
single
to
player
it.
stuff that they got coming and the online stuff. So what I'm saying, shout out Capcom. Definitely, I think they got more to prove. NRS. The only thing I say with NRS is their post-launch content, man. The support, their post-launch is because we already know NRS give their games a 2 years and that's it.
Yep. And
You know,
that was gonna be my point. I feel like
yeah,
that's my whole thing about NRS games, man. Like they look amazing. Some of the best character models you'll see out today, in my opinion, especially in Mortal Kombat 11. Like I just recently downloaded the game again. I was like, yo, this game looks
it
amazing.
looks great.
But I
Yeah.
honestly feel like the gameplay gets dull too fast, and I don't know what it is about Mortal. I mean, well, at least Mortal Kombat 11. I did play Injustice for like a cool year.
For the time, for the years they've been out. Yeah,
Mortal Kombat. Yo, I remember me and Dre, we played. We go hard. I think we played that game for like probably like 3 4 months, and we stopped. And that's
yeah,
the quickest I've ever stopped playing a NRS game. So I do feel like the post, like not only DLC, man, but I feel like they need to open up these characters more. Like when they opened up all the variations in Mortal Kombat 11, then it made the game fun again, bro. Because I'm
yeah.
like, why are you locking certain moves behind certain variations? If you just let people make whatever they want to make from the jump, the game. I mean, of course, you have to balance that, and they did ban some moves from like rank play and stuff like that. But you guys could have did that from launch, and I feel like the game would have been better, bro. Because
Yeah.
I was like, you're doing the same combos
Everybody was limited to the
over and
same
over. Like,
variations, you know.
and I
So
was
it's
like,
like,
and that's always been my problem with NRS games. I feel like after a while, like they get figured out too fast. They get figured out. Wait, well, not Mortal Kombat X. I think Mortal Kombat X to me is the best Mortal Kombat game ever, hands down. But this like Injustice and stuff like that, like it is gets dull. So in my opinion, even though I know Capcom, they did a lot of bad. I'm not gonna say bad things, but they wasn't really up to par when it comes to Street Fighter Five and Infinite. Even though I love Infinite, I just wish the game would look a little bit better. No lie, the game was
man,
the game
Yeah.
was
it,
super ugly. And I can't. The stages were ugly. The character models were ugly. I
it
didn't
was
really
it
too
was
much about the roster because I found two characters I like, man. So I was like, and
this
they had was it rollback netcode? Their lobbies was amazing.
the lobbies was fire, yeah.
Yeah, we ran tournaments for that, man. Shout out to TOA, the online arcade, man. We had like an online scene from like what 2016 to like 2020. Yeah, so we was kind of like pre-COVID doing online tournaments because my boy Jabari and Dre and Persona, they all live on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast, so it's not like we could do like something in person or whatever. But we run different like a online tournament. So I kind of want to transition into that. The online scene has definitely been booming since COVID, right? And me and Jay, we talked about this. I don't know if you guys talked about this, but a lot of people are saying like, online don't matter. We'll just
Oh no.
all
You
this
said the magic
nonsense.
phrase.
A lot of people have been saying that. I'm like, if that's all you can do, then how can you negate
Yeah,
I mean, I know some games are just unplayable online, and I will definitely say that. Even Street Fighter having to do regional tournaments because you can't do cross country. But I want to start you
so
guys.
bad.
What do you feel about the online scene, like birthing like all these new players, and does it hold any weight to offline? I don't have to be like on the same level, but what's your thoughts on that, man?
I think that the online has meant something different very quickly. It evolves like not constantly, but every
Yeah.
time they make it better, it means something different for a fighting game player online, right? So when I first started competitively, we're talking Street Fighter 4. This is 2009 designed rollback net or not non-rollback netcode,
Yeah.
and they were designing it with like, hey, this will be like an extra feature, but it's kind of a bonus, like check out online. That's kind of cool. Now it's if you didn't have online, you're not a real game. So
Yeah.
but in the back in the day, people went from playing offline only to playing online, and it was any little discrepancy is a huge problem, and it changes the validity of the match, yada yada. Things have gotten progressively better over the years, and now people talk a lot of smack about Street Fighter V's netcode, and it's definitely not the best, but it's 2016, maybe 2017 if they updated it significantly or so. Netcode that was years ago. So what's going to come out now, especially what's coming out now, is it perfect? No. But is it enough to test the skill of one player and another player, with reasonable consistency? If you are serious about it and you set your setup up and you get the right monitors and you get the right, enough processing power, and you're not playing on PlayStation, you're playing on PC. I think that it has become a valid way of practicing and participating, and the evidence is look who's winning tournaments.
Right.
So but I don't want to take too much away from what John has to say, because this is one of his favorite topics.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, Catalyst.
All right. Well, I spoke with numerous top players at Evo, and I was asking them, like, what's the difference between online and offline? And they're like, pretty much nothing. If there's no latency involved, which if you've got a pretty good setup and you've got a good thing going on, you're good. If you're playing on PlayStation, forget about it. But if you're playing on PC and you know what you're
Yeah.
doing, it's very close to the same thing. And I mean, these are top players in the game. And then Kawano and then Idom. They were the two Evo Online winners, and they got first and second in tournament. So I mean, the days of it's, in my opinion, it's just one of those scrub tactics of, I lost you online, so online doesn't matter, or I don't want to take online seriously or whatever. And I mean, you can have that attitude, but that's like 5 years ago or 10 years ago or something like that. You are so behind the times if that's your approach on this stuff, and you're going to get your butt kicked. Like if you're only trying to play offline, like you're going to run into matchups you don't understand. You're going to do all this kind of stuff. Like online is the way to go. Like ultimately, tournaments should be primarily offline if we can get them that way. But you can do qualifiers, you can do a bunch of other stuff. Like online is hands down the best way to play these games until you get to the offline tournament portions of stuff. And then and again, that's nice to have, so you don't have as many latency issues. But even then, these tournaments are played on PlayStation. They are played with monitors that are less than ideal. You can have a online PC match be better by a substantial margin than offline play if you have it set up correctly.
I'm gonna make an article. Eventhubs president says offline or online is better
Hey,
than online.
it's crazy.
In some cases.
You're literally the first person I heard ever say that. That's
I've
crazy.
never heard nobody say that.
Yeah.
That's a great thing, though. I feel
Hey.
it. I mean, do you think there will ever be a time where we can actually have like an all PC offline tournament? I know it's very expensive, but because I know a lot of online tournaments are PC. That's why I don't really enter a lot of online tournaments, because they're literally all run on PC. So I'm like, are we trying to transition into that, or you think it's always going to be PlayStation or maybe an Xbox or something, going forward?
It's actually coming up here. Defend the North, October 21st and 23rd is going to be one of the first major all PC tournaments in the FGC, and a bunch of players have already signed up for it. I think it's powered by MSI.
I saw that.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so the message is getting out there, but it's just started. So anyone who hasn't heard it yet, all good. And again, I get that mentality. Online did not used to be this way, but with the advent of rollback code being in most of the games, and the Street Fighter series has had rollback code since Street Fighter Cross Tekken, right? Like they've been doing rollback ever since then. But how good is your rollback code? Because there's a big difference between Guilty Gear Strive and even though I love the game Street Fighter 5, like there's a very large difference in the quality.
The distinction is actually mind blowing. I mean, me and Dre will play, and mind you, he's in New York, I'm in Cali. We could play Street Fighter for like a good 2 hours, and then it'd be nothing to happen. And then all of a sudden
Yeah, you're right.
you just go haywire. And I'm just
Yeah,
like, what's going on? You know what
yeah,
I'm
it's
saying?
crazy.
So I
The
just
internet
feel
saying go outside, go do something else.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's what we do. Like, all right, bro, we gonna have to stop this.
yeah, that's it.
It's,
It's a sign. It's time to get off,
it
bro.
is a
Like,
sign. It's
bro.
time to get off. Okay,
Yeah.
so lastly, before you guys go, I want to talk to you about this hitbox thing. I watched your video. I've watched Kizzy K's video. I watched Nephew's video. I've watched Brian S video because we was gonna talk about this last week, but like I said, it wasn't really a lot to talk about. So I honestly, so I'll go first and I'll let you guys take the floor. I think this thing is getting way overblown. I don't know why people are talking about hitboxes. It's like this cheating thing that everybody can just win on because me personally, I don't want to type when I play fighting games. I don't
Mhm.
like, I feel like, yeah, it does have its advantages. Of course it does. I think Automatic, I don't know if you guys know who Automatic is. I've been
Yeah.
watching him for a long time. And he was like one of the first people I see
Yeah,
hitbox. He was literally the first one. And, he's in the tournaments. He's won some, he's lose some. But I don't feel like it's the end all be all when it comes to this hitbox thing, man. I see, again, Twitter FGC is this the world is ending, everybody getting the bunker type joint. That's how they think. It's like so extreme when it comes to everything. So I know I can call you Veloci, Raptor and Cali. I know you guys made a video on this. Just kind of briefly go over what you guys talked about because you guys made some great points. I definitely love Kids and K video too. Everybody that's been logical about this has been making good content. But Cal, let's go first. Like this your your thoughts on this because I feel like it's way overblown.
Yeah, and I agree. It is way overblown. Basically, I remember back in the day where everyone called like pad players like the biggest scrubs ever, and if you lost to a pad player, you were like garbage basically. And all these up and coming players, pretty much it started a bit with Street Fighter 4, but with Street Fighter 5 it really changed. And then Punk and Idon playing on pad and all that kind of stuff, it opened people's eyes that like, look, like it doesn't really matter too much what controller you use, it's really how you play the game. And that's most of the way I feel about the hitbox, but there's a few techniques in there that might be looked at as being too powerful. And I really think it's kind of the onus is on the developers for the SOCD, the same ordinal cardinal direction, whatever, basically left and right at the same time, up and down at the same time, to program their games in a way that is dealt with where you can't manipulate the game in a way they did not intend for you to do so. They have never really accounted for this control style before, and I think going forward, a lot of games are going to actually deal with this internally, and basically they're going to set the rules instead of TOs or players having to make this these judgment calls. I think the developers are going to code their games in a certain way where this stuff just doesn't work. But even then, as is, I haven't seen anything where I'm like, oh, that's just game breaking, and that's I can't believe someone would have the audacity to use a hitbox against me in a match. Like that's if someone beats me at the hitbox, more power to them. Yeah, and the one other thing I'll throw out there too is not many people are talking about this, but there are ergonomic issues with the hitbox that I've seen. Some of the top players running around at Evo, I saw one of them, I'm not going to say his name, but an extremely well-known player in the FGC, one of the most well-known players, was definitely having hand issues from using the hitbox. And
Yeah. That's one of the reasons I use mine. I have a hitbox and I don't even use it. I can agree to that. So definitely go ahead.
No. I mean, so one thing about a joystick and a pad is they're proven for ergonomics. Joystick is not repetitive movement, nor the button hitting and stuff like that. But those just 4 buttons on the hitbox for controlling your directions, you're doing a lot of the same repetitive movements. And yeah, so there's some drawbacks there. Maybe that will be overcome with some time. But it's definitely getting caught up in the hyperbole of how the FGC likes to work, where it's like anything that's new and unexpected is the craziest thing ever. So.
What about you, Raptor? What you think, man?
So in my community here in Arizona, we have a player named Raucus, and Raucus is ahead of the curve on a lot of things. He is a good fighting game player, period. He is guaranteed for top 5 in a tournament that he enters, and it doesn't matter what type of fighting game it is. He's just good for that. And he can win them too. And so Rock picked up Hitbox probably 7 years ago, something like that now. It's been a while. I think towards the end of Street Fighter 4. And he went from being a top 5 consistent player in every game that he played to being a top 5 consistent player in every game that he played. And we appreciated it we appreciated that you can just do a walking DP and like a little just a little dance of the fingers, and all of a sudden Izubuki was doing a DP, and you're like, oh, that's faster than I can do it. But you know what? If that was the only difference that mattered in a round, it's like, well, then the hitbox wins. But it might be that his DP is a little bit faster. He's able to do this 4-second super, or what we saw the Hitbox Dustin do on Twitter recently. But at the end of the day, how are his anti-airs? Just in general, how is his decision making? I think that these these controllers, yeah, of course there are arguments that they're going to be a little bit better, but I don't think there's any evidence that they give you so much of an advantage that we need to care about them in tournament. And you contrast that with, remember in Marvel vs. Capcom 3, when you were able to block in both directions at the same time, we go, okay, that's obvious, get that out of here. Of course, no. And the Gaffro box with Daigo being able to throw sonic booms way more effectively and consistently, and we were like, nope, that's crossing the line, we know. But when you're gonna be able to, your reactions might be a little bit faster, but there are so many other variables that go into a fighting game match between two active minds at the same time. It's like, I think we're splitting hairs that until there's evidence, like until top 8 is all hitboxes in every game,
that's what I'm waiting for. And that's the thing, Raptor.
If that happens,
I've been saying
then sure.
Wow, I'm like, yo, where are the hitbox players at?
They've been around too. They've been around for like 10 years, right? So it's not like this is new. The experiment's been being run, and the evidence is not there to say that this is too much. So it's like, if you went around because your DP reaction was 3 frames faster or whatever, good for you. You got something out of your hitbox. And I hope you don't get, carpal tunnel or what, any issues. So, but not to knock hitbox. I think it's great. It's fine. I don't want to have to learn it because that's new and different, and I hate change. But I mean, if you want to, it's fine, and I think there's room for it.
To me, I'm like, screw hitbox, man. Give me that arcade stick with the 3 joysticks in the middle. Yeah, that's what I want. It's hitbox. That's what I want, man. To get all them buttons, what I'm saying? I just want to do motions. That's what I want, man.
We see people go to tournaments and play on like Guitar Hero controllers.
Yeah,
I want to see someone play on the stick box, man. I will play. I want to pay money for that. So that's just it's just like I just want to see someone use it competently, because that's like gonna be, oh man. So,
that's been my whole thing. I'm like, yo, I've been literally following Evo, no lie, since like 2011, 2010. That's like when I really started getting involved. And this from like then to now, hitbox to me, yeah, like I said, it has its advantages, man. But what I see people with basic PS5 controllers. I've seen people with basic sticks, and I made that assumption to where my first Evo that I actually went to was 2016. And, after going there and playing Street Fighter 5, and meeting like certain players, I'm like, yo, I need to buy me a fight stick, man. I wasted like $200 on this joint in 2 weeks. Like, it was done. I don't even want to play on this joint. So I feel it's all about preference. I think people really, they see certain players and they try to mimic them. And I'm guilty of that. I'm not gonna lie. All the Dawson players out there, I was like, yo, they playing on stick. They doing instant air gale. I'm like, yo, I need to like get a stick, man. I'm like, let me get an 8 gate. So I can. And I wasted all that money. I'm like, it was so uncomfortable to me. And I'm like, I'm not really feeling this, man. So I honestly feel like it's all about comfort and preference, because we've seen top players like IDOM, Sonic Fox. You can the list just go on and on.
And
That just play with Pat. Like you don't need a certain controller to. It's not a controller is not going to make you be better if you're your ass. Like I mean,
it might be that like instant air and Tiger Knee motions are easier to do on an arcade stick, and maybe an arcade stick player versus a controller player, if they both do 100 of those, the arcade stick player will hit like 4 more of them on average or something. And I don't know that that's the case, but maybe that's true. In the same way that the hitbox probably has some advantages in terms of how quickly you can execute, but there's also like we in fighting games, we are tolerant of a little bit of difference in ability. Like look at the character select screen. You're playing 2 different characters that have different strengths, and one's better than the other, especially if that one is Cammy. So if we're gonna be okay with the differences between characters, and we do have we do have like a threshold where it's like if it's too broken, if it gives too much of an advantage or a disadvantage, we don't want it in there because we want this ultimately reflecting the skill of the people that are playing, right? But we do have like a buffer zone, and I think until this proves otherwise, controller, stick, Guitar Hero, Hitbox, whatever, they all fall within that buffer zone.
No, I totally agree with that. I think skill trumps everything, and I mean, I know I have like I see somebody win a tournament with a certain character. I'm like, let me go check that out in the lab and see if I can do it. You realize you're not good enough, and a la Captain Cold and Injustice 2. I think Sonic Fox fooled the whole world. I don't know if he won a tournament with Captain Cold. It was actually crazy. That character, but he's just so good. He makes bad characters look good. You know what I'm saying? So
he understands. Sonic Fox understands these games at a level that other people do not, and I have not. He is one of the most unique and special fighting game players I've seen in my life, and I've been covering fighting games like I've been since Street Fighter 2, so like I'm an old man, and his Dominique's like his understanding, I should say, their understanding, because non-binary, my apologies, their understanding of fighting games is brilliant beyond belief. A true prodigy when it comes to fighting games, and one of the most special players I've ever seen. I can't believe how skilled they are. So,
yeah, I definitely met him at. I think he had a panel at Combo Breaker that I went to, and like hearing him talk and break down fighting games is definitely very different than what you see from like the typical player. Like he goes into like things that you don't even like think about, and it translates to his play. And you wonder how this man has been, how they've been so dominant for so long. He literally can play any game, and he breaks it down to like it's like a science, man. I really like, the way he plays the game. He's very chaotic in some games, and he's very patient in others. And he kind of like this. He goes for the cheap stuff, though. I asked him to his face. I'm like, yo, look, he go for the cheap. He said, yeah, I gotta go for the cheap stuff first, and then you kind of build off that. So before you guys get out, I'm like, who are some of your favorite players to watch? 'Cause we all have like some players that we love to watch. We love to get knowledge from, like Raptor. Who's some of your favorite players to watch? It could be old, new, in the middle. Like who's some of your favorite players to watch?
I like Daigo. No, I do like Daigo though, because everybody likes it. And you know why? Yeah, because Daigo's sitting out there on the precipice of what's like physically and mentally possible in fighting games, and like he's got 1 foot over the line, and 1 foot here in reality with the rest of us, and just like showing us like, oh, by the way, moment 37's possible, and by the way, I can pull off this ridiculous combo on Momochi in tournament. Just a flex on him. It's possible. And then the Daigo's also just sitting there eating Cheez-Its Daigo too, like he's just so him all the time. And so the way that translates, and sometimes he throws away games and stuff, and sometimes he's just being goofy, but sometimes he is able to get into his opponent's mind unlike pretty much anybody else. And it's not just, some people do it just as well. Maybe Sonic Fox does it, but just in a different way, and it manifests in a different way on screen. But when you see Daigo do it, it like through the language of fighting games, it speaks to you, and you're like, oh, he knew this, and like he knew it before all of us realized it, especially GamerB just there that took like the 7th offensive DPI. And like that makes your hair stand up for a reason, right? So yes, my answer is the obvious Daigo, but that's why.
Yeah, I feel like Daigo get away with stuff a lot of other people wouldn't get away with, man. When you see him go reckless and just throw stuff like, you're like, how he get away with that stuff? But he gets away with it, man. He got that flat armor at all times, and people love to see it.
He makes it look like it, right? He makes it look easy. He makes it look like he's got magical powers. Justin Wong makes people look like they forgot how to play when they were beating him. That's the Justin Wong factor, right? Like people get ahead of themselves and they go, I shouldn't be beating Justin Wong right now, and then they hiccup. They screw up that one little thing in the corner. They've got him, and then he's like, by the way, I'm Justin Wong, and he does his thing and brings the whole thing back. But these people, like, they make that happen, and they there's like the psychological game of fighting games, that component, and they can play that so well, and then you can see it and appreciate it. So Justin's up there, and someone in the chat said Sako. Got to give Sako credit. I mean, there's so many. There's so many. They're great.
Yeah, I have to share a quick story here about Daigo and Mike Ross. Yeah, Mike was looking at Daigo the same way you guys were, and like, why are people not jumping at him? Like, he's getting away with murder here with his fireball and footsie game. People just need to jump at him. And Mike was like, you're calling it. He's like, dude, I'm gonna jump at this guy and just blow him up. Well, he did, and he died a lot. And he said, I'm never jumping at Daigo again. Screw that. And it was amazing because he realized that Daigo's basically setting you. Most of his fireballs, they look like they're punishable, but oftentimes they're a bait. And every now and again, he'll throw a bad one. He'll get blown up and stuff by it, but oftentimes he's sitting there just baiting you. Jump. I want you to jump. I want to show you can't jump, and then I'm going to start doing some really nasty stuff on you so that you can't counter it and whatnot. And that's when he really gets in your head, and that's where Daigo is a specialist and one of my favorite players to watch. Absolutely is the way he gets in your head, the way he plays the mental game. So brilliant to watch. And then Sako, of course, is another big one. And then Idom, I love watching him play for the smoothness of his play, and his execution is extremely good. And then my favorite of all favorites, though, is absolutely Punk. Even though he's a very controversial figure,
I love Punk, man.
I love watching Victor play.
I love watching Punk. Yeah,
he's
different.
He is so entertaining to watch, and then the way he breaks down these games is very different than most other players. And he's got more of a hard read style, but it's coupled with so much fundamental play and knowledge that he is just a joy to watch play these games. So he's my number one right now. Generally, anytime I will drop anything I'm doing to watch him play a high level match, he is just a joy to watch play the game.
You said. Go ahead.
Go ahead, bro. No, go ahead.
Just really quick.
No, go ahead.
You brought up Mike Ross and jumping at Daigo. Mike Ross is the only player that at my very first Evo, it was Evo 2010, and that was Mike's run, I believe. It was Mike's run up into top 8 with Honda, and I remember seeing him play in the main room there, and I actually left and went up and started practicing Honda and hands combos because the way he was playing made me want to do that, and I already had my character, I already had my approach to things, and I'm really not one to have too many other characters. I tried it in Street Fighter V a little bit more, but especially back then, no, that wasn't me. But I watched Mike, and it made me like, oh, that looks like really fun to do, and he made it so simple. It was like kicks on the ground and jumps and hands, and then just believe in yourself, and you're gonna make it. So Mike Ross, honorable mention.
We all kind of been there. Like I said before, like you see something that's like, yo. I mean, I'm not a character loyalist. I'll let you guys know that.
You definitely not.
Dre has known me. Shout out to my boy Barry. He in the chat. He knows me. I'm not a character loyalist, man. Like if I feel like it's not working, I'm out. I'm not gonna waste. I'm not.
That's me in Street Fighter 6. I'm just gonna play top tier. I'm gonna be so slutted about my character selection. And if they nerf, I'll move on.
That's how you. And I feel like why. I always tell people like, why are you trying to struggle, bro? Like if it's not working, no matter how cool the character is, no matter how you feel about the character. Like during Street Fighter 5, I tried to play her, wasn't working. I'm out. Like and I'm like,
life's too short.
Yeah, life is too short, bro. Like I'm not about to sit here and struggle and wait like 3, 4, 5 seasons for her to get good at the game. That's not saying I couldn't put in the time because we've seen people win with Jury, but I was like, yo, I don't like the way this Jury played, bro. It's definitely different from what I'm used to in 4. So I'm like, I don't want to play this character like this. So I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. There's no loyalty in fighting games, man.
So either you're an old man or you have old man wisdom because
I'm 38, man. I'm old, bro.
There you go.
I'm old.
There's life is too short to play low tiers. There's all this young man stuff or young person stuff I should say about. I'm gonna play the character I like. It's like no, man, no. You need to.
It's top tier, man.
Yeah. I mean, like it's not even about top tiers with me though. I don't really. I can't really. The thing about me, I don't like shotos at all. I don't really play any shotos. I just feel like if the character got long normals, any type of I love mixed type characters. Any type of set play. If I knock you down, if the Okazumi is good, I kind of go for those type of characters. So it
He
most
likes running
definitely
characters,
be
man.
huh?
You like running characters and characters with teleports. That's what you like.
I mean
Anything
that
like if you
too.
gotta
You know
get
what I'm
close, when you gotta
saying?
get close to the character, you stay far and
Hey, shout out to my
that's
man
it.
Dawson. They actually make Dawson a really cool character in Street Fighter Five. So I will always
Mm.
praise Capcom for that, man. But any last words before you guys get out of here, man? I really appreciate
Yeah.
you for coming through, man. It's just anything you want to, I got you guys Twitter. Make sure you guys go follow Catalyst
Wait,
and
before that,
Twitter. Go ahead, Joe.
before that, one quick question. What's your favorite archetyping game in fighting games?
Oh,
Since
that's a
we were
good question.
on that topic just now,
That's a good question. I like that.
because just you don't
Mine,
like shotos and all that stuff.
yeah, mine is however Rose plays, generally speaking, but usually
Oh.
Rose plays as a mid-range control and footsie character.
Ah.
I'm basically married to Rose, like in more ways than one. My wife kind of looks like her,
Oh,
and
wow.
then she's been my main since Alpha 2, and it's like it's
I respect
that is my character. But mostly like mid-range footsies and control. That's what I usually like to
Got you.
do.
What about you, Raptor?
My wife better not look like a Necalli.
Oh.
She doesn't.
Okay, I'm like, hey, man, I'm about to.
Well, when it's humid out. No. I started with zoning mostly, and although my friends will say that Goken was only like half zoning because he had that 2-frame recovery sweep
Yeah.
that was safe, so he had a weird, but mostly zoning and strategizing around that, and I had a lot of fun with that. But I changed that up in Street Fighter V and went for more rushdown, and I guess I didn't have as much fun with that. I don't like making commitments and decisions. It turns out, I think. I like to just be throwing plasma from far away. So, but here's the thing: none of the other like zoners in this game these 2 games that I've spent the most time in really. Nah, you know what? I'll go with zoner because I played Ermac in Mortal Kombat 9, and he was a lot of fun. So that tells me that I like zoning the best, and that's not. I don't necessarily like watching zoners the best, but playing them, I think that's me.
I think
Gotcha.
that's actually a skill though. I think zoning is not as easy as everybody make it out to be because one jump in, bro, you getting blown up. Like I tell people that all the time. Like you can't just sit back and think you're gonna throw fireballs at somebody, especially someone who's actually competent at the game. It's actually a skill. You gotta think about spacing. You gotta think about the slow, medium, or fast. Or a fireball, or whatever. Or whatever you're trying to do. So it's kind of like zoning is actually a skill. And I used to be one of those guys like, nah, if you zone, you suck. Like that's why I always used to think about that. Like you're not a good player if you
You're like,
zone.
stop running, man.
Like stop running. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to say thank you guys for coming through, man. I know you guys got to get out of here, but again, man, I definitely make sure you guys follow. Their stuff is in the description. Go follow. Use Eventhubs, man. I think it's one of the best websites. You guys already know we use that website every week when it comes to tournament, results and stuff like that. So it's very well put together. This Catalyst and Raptor, just give you your closing words so you guys can get out of here, man.
Yeah. I'll actually shout out to everyone watching this, and please support the Plus on Block podcast. Like, punch the thumbs up button. Doing fighting game content is really hard, and having consistency and seeing these guys up here and doing this and stuff like that. Please support them. It's really wonderful to see you guys. Like, it's awesome seeing grassroots stuff just spring up in the FGC and go.
Yeah.
So please make sure you guys continue to support the show. And it's been awesome being here.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Appreciate man.
Yeah, we're doing regular content over on our YouTube channel right now too, trying to get that going off the ground and stuff. And so we do episodes of Talking Block, which is where just John and I talk about whatever subject or reaction to whatever big news is out, new reveals and stuff. And then we've also been jumping into doing some like character histories leading up into Street Fighter 6. John went to Evo and he got like his experience there and some of the footage and whatnot of him playing and some cosplayers at Evo.
Yeah,
no. Yeah, that's his favorite.
Love them cosplayers. I feel man.
So there's but the point is there's something for everyone over at the Eventhubs YouTube channel. So if you guys like that kind of stuff, we would very much encourage you come check it out. Give us a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and we would really appreciate it. And thank you to both of you guys for having us on, letting us spend this time with you and talk about fighting games. Doing it for a living, and it's amazing. So it's really cool that one other thing I wanted to say, and we were talking about it a little bit before we started recording, but just like being in the FGC and now that COVID's kind of over, you feel this if you go back to majors and whatnot, but I also feel it doing this crossover content with you guys and hanging out. It's like there's a family that exists, and like I went one time to New York with my family, just like on a vacation, but just throwing a post up on Facebook, I got invited over to Bum 16s and got to hang out with those guys for the whole night, and it was just like we picked up as if I was there every week. It's just like everybody speaks the language, of fighting games. There's all these different types of people, every different kind of adjective you want to put in front of someone's name. It's like we've got that in the fighting game community, right? But we all have this same language that we speak, and it's really cool. And doing this talk with you guys has it makes me feel a similar way, and that is my favorite thing about the FGC. I came in because I liked the competition, and that's still very high up there. But that familial aspect, if that's a word, I don't know. I'm a writer. Like that's maybe the best thing.
No, I do feel like when you get around people who love the same stuff you love, and you can kind of feel that, like if it's fake or not right away. You know what I'm saying? And this you guys is coming on and just willing to talk with us. Like, I mean, we're only like 12 episodes in, so it's not like we're big or nothing like that, but we all share the same passion.
Yeah.
That's the part of the FTC I love. It's that part is like no matter who you are, where you from, popular or not, and I experienced this going to these tournaments and stuff like that. Like, it's really like that. Everybody's cool. As long as you're not a weirdo, everybody's cool, bro. Like, this is keeping it a stack. If you're not a weirdo and, you come in there with, like, being genuine and actually, you don't even have to be good at said game. You just come in there. I've met a lot of people just sitting down at a setup and just playing the game. Like it wasn't really like me trying to force nobody to play or nothing like that. Like, and that's how you meet. And I feel like the FGC needs to get back to that. I think COVID kind of hurt the FGC a little bit because couldn't go to tournaments, couldn't do nothing. Everybody is on Twitter. Everybody's on. It's just bigger. It's just a lot of nonsense that don't need to be in the community. And I feel like at its roots, it's really cool, man. Everybody's accepted in this joint, and that's what I love about it. And at the end of the day, man, I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming to you, man. Make sure you guys support these two. These guys are really cool, man. And we definitely gonna have to get on some sticks, man. I definitely want to get at you. I don't play Third Strike, but I'm trash at that. Yeah. I'm trash.
I'll play 5 with you.
Yeah, we can play 5, man.
We can play 5. Yeah.
Open lobby for Street Fighter 5, man. You guys come through, and again, man, thank you so much, man. Dre, got any last words before they go?
Man, you said it all, man. Shout out to y'all. Appreciate y'all coming through as always. And thank y'all, everybody that's in the chat, man. And definitely shout us out, tweet it out, subscribe, all that, man. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, chat.
Guys. Thank you all.
Thanks, guys.
All right, man. Take it easy, man. All right, so Dre, we make we got stuff to talk about, bro. Like,
sure.
We're
not done, people. We're not done. We're still here,
Round 2.
We round 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But definitely shout
out to
round
1.
Man, shout out to my man Catalyst and Raptor. Those are really great guys, man. But we gotta get into this Street Fighter content, bro. Like, was it the best? Jay,
you win.
That Street Fighter. Hey,
bro, come on.
Hey, that Jura Kimberly gameplay. Hey, that was fire. But, hey, shout out to Capcom, man.
Come on, don't.
Nah, I'm just playing. Nah, that was.
No, but I do.
Listen, this is what we said. And I think we said this along the last one too. I'm like, yo, Capcom, I respect y'all for what y'all doing, man. It's out there. They getting it in as many hands as possible. But and you're gonna show off your new characters, man. I need y'all to do like a dedicated video, like of these characters, bro. Just do a dedicated video showing a little bit of mechanics and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? What they do,
Oh,
what they can do.
man.
Like this thing that they did on what was this? A couple of days ago
I
on
think it was
Capcom TV is
Thursday.
like
Yeah.
it's cool, but it's like we didn't really learn much, bro. We saw a few things that can do, but what are we supposed to really take from that? You know, shout out to Vesper, man. They did the best they could.
Yo, Vesper is like a beast, bro. I don't know how this
I
man
don't know how he did it.
he's dedicated, bro.
Yeah,
Dedicated.
I'm like, shout out to him. Yo, I just like, yo, bro, what was that, dog? Like, and I'm pretty sure when Tokyo Game Show come back around,
Oh,
hopefully it's not the same
that's
thing.
gonna be the show. That's gonna be
It's gonna be a show, but I feel like, I mean, like gameplay wise, because it's still gonna be, at least we see more Gal too, which I'm excited to see more Gal too. But I just want to see people like trying to really figure these characters out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand that the Capcom TV thing was, I guess, the typical thing that they do. I don't know if it's monthly or weekly or whatever they show off. Cause they didn't just talk about Street Fighter 6, but it was
no.
one of their features. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like they could have done a way better showing of the characters, especially since we've seen their gameplay wise, like
And that's my thing.
somebody controlling them for the
We
first
already
time.
seen
And I
the
feel like,
trailers, bro. I'm like,
yeah,
yo, we already seen the trailers. I'm like, hold on, let me make sure.
yeah, they could have done a better job showing them off. But what we did see a couple cool stuff though. First of all, I like the personality of this game, man, with these characters, bro. Kimberly just right there hanging upside down on a ninja shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's dope. Jewelry, she was on a tie. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying?
And
But
that was mad weird, bro.
random as
Jury
hell.
to me, I'm like, why is she on a tire? Like,
Apparently, it has something to do with Abigail. I don't know how true that is. I don't know how true that, but I'm like, it was kind of random. But I'm like, all right,
that shit was
cool.
it was mad satisfaction.
Guy was out here leaning on the drum. You know what I'm saying? The drum. So it's like,
All right, here we go.
but
Yeah, so
yeah,
just gonna have like the shit playing in the background, but I definitely wanna just kind of talk about these two characters because honestly, Dre, I think Kimberly is gonna be that character, bro. Where you know,
most
she's
definitely,
gonna hurt a lot of feelings, bro. This characters look hard, bro. Like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying. When you look at a character like Guy, Zeku, Ibuki, that's what she looks like. And we already said this shit before, but in motion, she literally. I'm like, yo, she has
yeah.
so much shit, bro. I'm just like, it's gonna take so much time to optimize her, and then you have to not only incorporate her moves,
Yeah,
her but the actual game systems, and I think that's gonna be the hard part when it comes to her. I think she's an amazing looking character, though.
no, she look.
One of the coolest characters I've seen in Street Fighter, bro.
I feel like
Like that
I
ass.
feel like this for what Street Fighter did for Jury,
Mm.
Street Fighter 6 is about to do for Kimberly, right? In terms of
Yep.
popularity and stuff like that. I feel like is she gonna be the next like popular character? Um, everything I see her walk speed, look how fast that is, bro. She be in your face mad quick. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? Like her back walk speed ain't as fast, but just she gonna be in your face super fast, dog. Like look at that. And the stuff that she can do. And I just realized with a teleport thing or a little smoke thing, bro, the fact that you can do that shit and it's like it doesn't waste no resources, right? You can just do that freely, from what I saw. And so it's like that her teleport thing, the smoke
Oh
thing.
yeah, smoke. Yeah, yo, when they was like just
Yeah,
that
just
joint,
spamming that. I'm like,
I was
what?
like, what?
Yeah, I can just do that freely like that. You know, it's kind of crazy. You know, so we saw with Kimberly, she started everybody, pretty much a lot of people in the game go start off have some type of stock system. You know,
Mhm.
Kimberly got the two paint cans and
Yeah, and that's the thing about her paint cans too. Is like they were saying that, well, not saying, but you could see that
yeah,
her level one is tied to the paint cans,
it's
right?
time to the paint can, right?
So she gets more damage the more if she has one or two. I don't think she could go beyond two.
It's only one. Yeah, if she use one, if she have a paint can, she's gonna use it in her level 1 super. So
Yeah,
my thing is, I wonder if it's you have to or you have the option to use it or not because
and that's
every
a good
time
point too.
every time I see them do it,
Yeah.
they if they have a pay can, it's gonna be used. So I wonder if it's optional. Like
Hey, we
maybe
really
if you
just
hold
seen
down
jury.
maybe if you hold down the button, you know,
No,
to
I'm
use a
sorry.
pay
We
can.
really seen jury Street Fighter for Super, bro. Her one of her
Yeah,
characters, bro. And I'm like, yo, they really understand. That's why, again, shout out to Catalyst and Rap because they were saying Capcom really listened, bro. They
they're
destroyed
listening.
Jury in Street Fighter Five.
Yeah,
Nobody say, you could say, oh, what about Justin King? What about, who else is using
yeah.
her? I mean, it was a
Ain't
few
that
people
much
use
people,
her.
man. Yeah, but I'm
Hey,
like, yeah.
it wasn't a lot
I
though.
think I think infiltration and whatever. Yeah,
They really killed this character, bro. This character has so much spice when it comes to, especially in Street Fighter 4, especially her Fujin engine, which was absolute. That made her so fucking unique, bro. With the one frame link combo, she had so many options out of that shit, and
yeah.
they really dumbed it down to like, oh well, she got stocks now. You know what I'm saying? Like this is trash, bro. Like the character was, I mean, yo, Kimberly looks fucking amazing,
Yo,
bro. This character looks so cool, bro. Like,
yes.
yeah, I'm so
That tattoo's crazy. Look at that.
yeah, bro. Like she just looks like
Wow,
a
that
character
standing light kick,
really.
man.
Yeah, she looks like a character that's really gonna like frustrate you.
I'm just annoyed, bro. I'm just annoyed, bro. Cause like
Why?
this, what
Why?
are
Why?
y'all
What's
doing,
up?
bro? I'm looking at the video, bro.
I
I'm
know
like, bro,
it's
what are they
bad,
doing,
bro.
dog?
It's bad, man. Like
You just got Kimberly
that's what
jumping all over the
Bob.
place
Yeah,
and waste.
that's what.
She burned out in like 2 seconds. Like, what the hell, man?
I
It's
mean,
just
see, so the thing about Jury, bro. That's why I'm really interested in Jury. I think she's gonna be really good in this game. The drive system is gonna make her fucking crazy in this game.
yeah.
I
You saw that one
I
load
already,
with yeah,
I already see the potential when it comes to a character like Jury because she's very like hit confirmish and like she hit confirm you, bro. She's gonna do a lot of damage. She's gonna
yeah,
do
man.
a lot of fucking damage, bro, because she don't have to stock up on her moves no more. But if she do stock up,
Look at that. That was so sick.
yeah, that was sick as hell, bro.
That was so
Yeah,
sick.
that was sick, bro. Yeah, and like I said, I feel like all these characters are gonna have like personality for the first time
Yeah, man.
they were in Street Fighter 4. I feel like Street Fighter 4 is, even though it was a lot of bullshit in that game too. Don't get me wrong, bro. Street Fighter 4 was bullshit, but it was actually fun though.
It was fun.
Same thing with Street Fighter 5. A lot of bullshit, but it was fun. But the personality is like where you want to. That's how you know you got a good game, bro. Like I could play said character different from said person,
Yeah.
and we playing the same character, but it's different though. And I love that about fighting. When the fighting game is like that, that's how you know you got a good one, man. And I feel like Jury, just from the characters we've seen so far, Jamie is gonna look, and even this, Jury's Street Fighter, they literally took her Street Fighter 4 Super, like it to the T.
Yeah. It to the T, bro.
Wasn't low because she wasn't low health, man. So
Yeah.
all you feet guys out there,
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
yeah, y'all gonna see how many people Bob like, yo, bring me that to 25%, bro. 25%, right?
if you want to see
Go
the
ahead.
toes, bro,
Go ahead,
you know
get a
what I'm
free
saying?
hit, bro. Yeah, get a free combo, my guy. I only get out to 30%, 25%, bro.
But not
nasty
like
freaks.
overall, like even the stage look good, bro. Like
Yeah, this stage is nice.
game, like yo, next week is gonna be insane for this.
I'm
game.
so excited, man. I'm excited.
It's gonna be insane for this game because Dre, like low key, like you said earlier, like the way they're marketing the game, even with the leaks, 'cause we know the roster is there.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
roster
they're
is already there. They already know the roster is there. They actually acknowledged it.
they acknowledge it. Yeah,
They acknowledge it. So the fact that they're still showing stuff. They're still and like this
that was sick. Yeah.
TGS man. All
Yes, bro.
coming out to that joint.
Yep.
You already know. So the
Oh man.
so the type of gameplay we're gonna get next week is gonna be insane, bro. Like the fact that we get to see Guile in play, we gonna
I
have,
can't. Yeah, yeah.
we get to see Jury in play. We're gonna see Kimberly in play. We're gonna get another character.
Probably another character or two reveal. You know what I'm saying? Trailer maybe. You know what I'm saying?
So and like I said, I mean, Capcom is like literally like, you know what, man? It is what it is. Because a lot of people, if their stuff got leaked like that, bro, they gonna go dark, bro. They gonna go 0 dark 30, and they already know it's like, yo, we're we're not gonna like, you know what, you guys leaked this stuff, now you gotta wait. Not Capcom.
Right.
They don't care anymore.
Capcom don't care. I mean,
They
they have
don't care.
their marketing strategy and it's working for them. You know what I'm saying? The only thing I wish they would add to it is just a dedicated breakdown video or something like that for these characters.
Yo,
Having it at different
look at
events.
like Arc, right? You talking about like Arc, right?
Yeah, yeah. Having it
just
different
go
events is
over all the
cool.
moves, yeah.
And getting people's
Right.
hands on it is cool, but y'all also need to bring out a character video. Like as you reveal a character, just drop their character videos. Like they
Show
did it
the
for Street Fighter
moves.
Five.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? For
bro.
each character,
Street
just
Fighter.
keep
Hey,
just
if you can hate on Street Fighter 5 all you want, they
yeah.
knew how to. We went from silhouettes to cinematic trailers.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. We have to be guessing.
Early days?
Bro, that shit was so bad. You have to be and you have to pay for you're paying for battle passes.
Yeah.
And you even know what you was
Hey,
getting, bro. You only know the first character, and then you have to guess the rest. Like,
again, shout out to Vesper. That man is a fucking monster, bro.
yo, he used to.
Vesper was literally like blowing up these silhouettes, man.
Yeah, they're trying to line up them
He was looking
outlaws.
at hair. My man was looking at everything. It was crazy, bro. But yeah, I like I said, at the end of the day, man, next week's show is gonna be crazy, bro. I'm so freaking happy because I think
Yeah, man.
it's on Wednesday, right? It's Wednesday,
Nah.
right?
It starts the 15th, doesn't it?
Yeah, so
Oh yeah. Right.
it'd be the 6th, so it'd be like Thursday, so it'll probably be early Wednesday.
It's gonna be
It's in
earlier.
Japan, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be early as hell, man. So yeah, it's gonna be a lot of stuff. And they already showed like the color palettes, bro. Like this is
Yo,
what
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm talking about, bro.
I don't care about jewelry, but I like the white hair jewelry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
White hair
Hey,
jewelry
look at Jay. Like, yeah, I like that. I bet not
white
ever
hair
see you
jewelry
play
cool,
Jerry,
man.
bro. I bet not ever see you play Jerry.
I'll never. You don't have to worry about that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I bet not
I
ever
say,
see you
yeah.
play Jerry, bro.
The only thing I do probably
Jabari,
do if
and all
when
you
they got
jury
when they
people,
got
hey,
when they got the
y'all
trials.
not jury people, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to
Hey, I mean,
get up out of here, bro.
hey, Chuck,
Nah, we don't have
don't
to.
listen to him, bro. Chuck is not even a jury person, man. He
I
a
am a
jury
jury
person
person.
if she good. You know what I'm saying? If she's bad,
Actually,
he's no longer a jury
hey, I'm
person.
not playing there, bro. It's facts, man. It's no
You know what I'm
loyalty.
saying?
You know what I'm saying? But
Okay.
like I said, at the end of the day, man, like this video is kind of long. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but
Yeah.
so next week is definitely gonna be it's gonna be what's her name? Oh, that was her Fujin engine right there. But yeah, it's kind of hard to watch this gameplay. I'm gonna keep it.
Yeah. It's
It's
kind of bad,
pretty hard.
but
But like I said, I do appreciate them for showing that. You know what I'm saying?
I do realize with the Kimberly's smoke teleport thing,
Yeah.
it pointed out two things for me, because like it because you can do the one in the air where you see she used to get out of the corner, and then the one that she stays on the ground, which is cool. It showed, I know the different colors. It showed like on the blue. On blue, that's like the startup. Like that seemed like a one frame invincibility type stuff. So,
Bro, if that joint's invincible, bro, like
I,
good luck, bro.
okay, you could kind of see it, right? Because when she did it, at one point she did it, right, and as soon as she did it, she went back. She went teleported back. But when it turned green, she wasn't invincible no more. So and that's when Jury sweeped and killed her.
Also, maybe it's like a recovery on it. You know?
Right, on her recovery thing, that green, yes.
That
So
makes sense.
so
That
I was
makes
like,
sense. Okay.
you know, so I do like the little touch too, because when she did the EX version, you see the smoke turn. I think it was yellow. It turned to yellow.
Mm.
So and it was like the blue and green. You know what I'm saying? Combined. You know, that's what it gives you. So that was a nice little touch.
I'm just saying, bro. Yo, I'm not gonna cap Dre before we move on. If they show Sim next week, man, I'm coming in here,
Purple.
bro. I'm coming here.
Oh my god!
It.
I thought you was a jury. I thought you was a jury character, bro.
Hey, what I just tell you, bro? There's no loyalty, bro. There's no.
You're right.
So
You're right.
combo breaker. It's not making sense right now. I literally told you who I am when it comes to these fighting games, bro. Kunoichi. Yo, she is so lucky that there's nobody that I want to play in this game besides her. Yes. Or I don't want to play
God,
Hitman.
man.
They eat glue. I don't want to fucking play Swiftmaster. They eat glue. I don't want to play. Who was the third one? Hitman, Striker. They eat glue. I don't want to play none of them characters, man. I'm good. I'm gonna stick with my.
Man, listen.
I'm gonna stick with my top 5 character in the game. I think Kunoichi is amazing. But yeah,
Trash.
I'm not about to. Come on, Trey, bro.
Keep going.
I be
Keep going.
mixing the fuck out of you, bro. Like, stop
Shut
it.
up, man.
I be
Trash, man. Go
mixing
ahead.
you, my guy.
Go ahead, man.
You know what I'm saying?
2 command grab. That's all it takes, man. Let's go. Whatever. That's it.
I
Whatever.
hate you, man.
That's it.
I really hate you, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. But let's get into this Gizmo trailer. So Gizmo, Gremlins is old as fuck, bro. A lot of you young mom, you probably don't even know what the hell this is, man. But Multiversus, even though I don't play the game like that. I will appreciate the game. I think the game has a lot to offer.
Y'all still playing Multiversus in 2022. Y'all eat glue.
Yeah.
I just play.
Hey, no cap.
I just
But we gonna definitely look at this Gizmo trailer, man.
no magnetism of Black Panther Multiversus, man.
Dre, you gotta chill, bro.
I see Bird in here. I'm pretty sure Bird does play
Yeah,
Multiversus.
I know Bird plays Multiversus. Man, shout out to my man Bird, man. You know what I'm saying? But
Love that yellow bus, man.
Up and away.
Nah, man.
Coming through.
Who is what is this, bro? Come on, man. What is this? I can't give you this. Oh, you too deep? Hey, man. Hey, man. Multiversus.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, Dre.
It was fun while it lasted for five minutes.
It was fun while it lasted, my guy. This is trash, bro. I'm just being honest, bro.
I was just checking it out.
Man, come on.
Nah, Black. You're a Multiversus player, dog. You just checking it out, dog.
And I'm like, yo.
You ever consider trying out for the
Hey,
Justice
this
League?
is for me. Hey, yo, y'all excited for Gizmo, man? Shout out to Gizmo, man.
Shout out to Gizmo.
Look at that man with his umbrella, dog.
Shout out to Gizmo. Oh, I'm just like.
Shout out to all the
Drake,
Gizmo
go ahead, man.
man.
Like, what's your thoughts on Gizmo, man?
Hey, bro. The way he floats down with his umbrella, you know what I'm saying? The way he just pulled up in a what's that? What kind of car is that?
And I feel like, yo, Gizmo is like one of those characters where,
bro, I don't care.
Years too late, bro. I'm being like,
yo, like,
bro, like Gizmo from the '80s,
bro. Like nobody cares. People looking at this character like, who? Yeah,
who the hell is Gizmo?
Like, who?
You know what I'm saying? Like I know Multiverses, they have it's Warner Bros. So they have a lot of play when it comes to characters, bro.
Yeah.
Like this one's is a wasted slot. What, Dre? I know you was it's like Raiden and Injustice 2, bro. It's a wasted slot, man. It's a wasted slot.
Crash, what's up, man? Yo,
up,
it's
man?
It's a wasted
slot, bro. I'm keeping it a stack. You know?
Listen, they got a lot of characters. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It might be. I don't know, bro. I don't really care. I care, bro. So whatever they put in this game, whoever they put in, you know what I'm saying. But I ain't gonna really.
But see, Dre, the thing is.
Oh, this man is rocking with Superman right now, bro. That's he made it.
I mean, Superman is actually OD in this game, though, bro. This character, he's actually kind of cheap. But I just feel like the things you have, like the Night King. You got Daenerys.
Oh yeah.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
You got fucking the Joker, bro. Like you got Scorpion. You got so many other characters, bro. And you show Gizmo.
I just kind of feel like
really?
I feel like the demographic they're going for is like more kid friendly. Everybody knows Superman. Everybody knows Batman. Kids, you know what I'm saying, growing up.
Hey, everybody knows Scorpion, fucking Sub-Zero, bro. They're iconic, bro.
Yeah, but those characters, iconic, I don't think they are. But I just think for kids, for kids,
right
I'm
now,
talking about
know who the fuck Gizmo is, bro.
That's all right, but I'm not saying they know who he is, but look at him. You know what I'm saying? A kid gonna see them like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's a little creature, man. You know what I'm saying? He looks cute or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, people look at.
Dre, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's a demographic, man.
I honestly feel like the demographic is not. Hey, Thrash, and we gonna have to get on some Tekken, bro. I've been practicing, my guy. You know what I'm saying? You probably.
Oh yeah, Flash, yeah.
But on some real shit though, like this shit is just not hitting for me. I don't know. It's gonna take
Me
that,
either.
bro. But if they had like Scorpion on this joint, bro, like stop the cap. You know you're gonna play that shit, bro.
I ain't gonna play it. I wasn't gonna play it. I still wouldn't play it.
I would definitely try Scorpion.
I'm just,
I'm gonna try fucking Daenerys. I'm gonna try fucking the
bro.
Night King. If the Night King
You
comes,
know, you know.
my main.
First of all, it could be your main, cause yeah. But what I'm saying is, these platforms are my thing, so I wouldn't have played regardless. I would have been like, oh, that's cool. But if these characters, they put these characters in this type of game, I'm not gonna play it because it's not how I would imagine them being played. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna have stuff that I was expecting them to have. You know, they might have a few stuff from the movies, you know, but that's not how I want. I don't want to see them in a platform fighter. You know, that's all I'm saying.
No,
I want to see them in
I
a regular
respect
style
that in the
2D
real.
3D
Hey,
type. Yeah,
yo. So okay,
right.
this Dre. Let me ask you this before we show this JoJo shit, because I'm definitely not buying this joint.
I didn't buy that either. Shout out to Nancy
But
though. She
okay, so
copped
let
that.
me
She was
ask you
having
this:
mad fun.
what happened if they made what if Warner Brothers made like a real fighting game the same way they made this shit, bro? Do you know how
That's
big,
what I'm saying.
bro? Like that shit. But I think they don't want to use that shit. Would take a lot of time, though. It would take a lot of time, bro. But just imagine.
Hey, hey, D, you're right. I'll cap it. You're right. you're right. You're saying you're right. I'm saying I couldn't help myself, but you know we know it's
Nah,
gonna
but
happen. But you're right. But yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
but I was saying like if they were to make a game like that when it comes to like fighting games where they just have like all these different. I mean, because you think about Mortal Kombat is already like that, bro. They got the Predator,
Yeah,
Leatherface. They got fucking uh,
they got
Luke.
Spawn. They got everybody.
They
Yeah,
got Rambo. You know, they got all these characters,
yeah, Rambo.
bro. So I was like, why don't y'all just make a game Spawn? I mean, how many people have been clamoring for Spawn for so long, Dre? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, if they was just to make a game with this Warner Brothers characters, it don't even have to be like Mortal Kombat, bro. It could be like a Street Fighter where they don't die, per se. You know what I'm saying? They could
yeah,
kind of just get beat up. You know what I'm saying? Because I know that's the thing when it comes to these. They don't like their characters dying like that. That's why
right.
that's why that DC versus Marvel joint was trash, bro. Because I was like, what is this, bro? Like,
Yeah,
Joker killing people off screen and shit. That shit was trash, bro. But you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? I do feel like this game that game would be fucking fire, bro. I would definitely
no, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like seeing it in that type of setting, the regular in a either 2D slash 3D, 2.5D, whatever setting, 3D. I'm like, cool. You know what I'm saying? That's how I want to see these characters, bro. Like, because especially what we know them how they are on TVs or the movies or whatever, bro. We want to see them in like really fleshed out. I don't think Multiversus is the place to do that. You know,
no. I totally get that, bro.
but I agree. If they make another game like that, like we say with MK with all these characters, it would be fire, bro. Like this is why I know NRS, and I know I think Raptor mentioned earlier that Warner Brothers is kind of looking for buyers at least to license out their games or their studios and their
Yeah,
IPs.
I mean,
I really hope they start
really,
doing that and
yeah, I mean,
expanding and
because
stuff like that.
they got the see, Dre. I felt like when it comes to fighting, bro, if you got that's kind of actually a really good transition, bro, to final round. Let's get to final round.
Final round.
So
Yeah.
when it comes to rosters, bro, I feel like there's a lot of like cap when it comes to rosters, right? Oh man, this character not in this game. I'm
Yeah.
playing it, Dre. How many times have we heard that statement, bro? How
Yeah.
many times have we get to? I'm JoJo. I'm gonna keep it honest. Nobody's gonna play that. I'm not gonna even want to talk about that. Joint.
I ain't playing. Yeah, that's
But when it comes to rosters, right? I feel like rosters, if the roster itself, Dre, has unique characters, I'm not gonna sit there and wait for a character to be added to a game.
that's a fact.
No sense. That
Yeah.
makes no sense to me. I've never struggled with finding the character in the fighting game. Dre, have you struggled?
I've never struggled, bro. Like if my listen, even with Street Fighter Five, right? As limited as that roster was, bro. we found a character, bro. The
Found a
characters we want, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I was rocking Rashid, you know what I'm saying, day one. That man was fun as hell, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's no fighting game where I'm like, I don't want to see a character. I'm like, oh shit, that character looks like if my character, my previous, as much as I've been advocating for T Hawk, you know what I'm saying, I would love for them to bring my T Hawk back in Street Fighter. There's so many other characters like grapplers, man, that was fun, you know what I'm saying, or kind of would cover that type of playstyle that I like, you know, in any game that I've played. So I'm like, I'm not really pressed on that, you know what I'm saying. A lot of people hung up it'd be the people that they name the characters that's some of the most obscure characters that probably was in one game, you know what I'm saying? And like the first game ever made, and they want to bring them. I'm like, bro, there's so many other characters to choose from. Like, why just press on one character? It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? But there's never been a time where I see a fighting game I'm interested in, and there's a character that I wasn't feeling. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and
I don't know.
I just feel like it's just fucking major cat, bro. I've always
Yeah,
said this, bro. Like, anytime I see somebody say if so was in this game, I will buy it. You're fucking lying, and that's just what it is, bro.
live. You know
You
what
know,
I'm saying?
and I'm like the fact that you can't look. I'm not even like up on the Guilty Gear franchise like that. Like most, no. A lot of people are more versed in that shit than I am. I'm not gonna lie. I played Guilty Gear Sign and Rev 2. Those are my first Guilty Gears. I didn't play Action Core. I didn't play
Yeah,
Archetypes. I didn't play none of that shit, bro. So, you know what's funny? I found the character in Guilty Gear Sign. You know, and I found no in X art, and I found a fucking no sign. It was Guilty Gear Sign, X art, and I think it was Rev and Rev 2. Found the character in each version of the game, bro.
yeah,
I'm saying
yeah.
I'm like, who are you really waiting for? People like, oh, I'm waiting for Disney to come back to Guilty Gear Strive. So I'm like, bro, you're not gonna play the game. You know, I'm waiting for Test. I'm like, bro, Testament. Nobody looking for that character, bro.
Yeah,
That character was in the game for years, bro.
yeah.
And that
Testament.
character was really fucking hard. When you actually go back and you look at shit when it comes to Testament, because I went back to the old game, I'm like, yo, this character looks fucking crazy. Ain't nobody
Yeah.
doing all this shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? Or
Uh,
I'm on Zappa. I'm like, bro,
yeah, and that's the thing too,
out of
right?
here, bro. Like, come
And that's the thing too, right? As let's say they bring that and they complain that the character was in the game. And when they bring the character in the game, this is not how this character was. They changed the character play style, and now I can't. I'm not gonna play this character because they didn't play like the character I used to play. I'm like, come on, man.
it's
What,
so
what is the
cat,
complaint?
bro. It's so
It's so dumb.
bro. And I really like look, people are they're free to do whatever they want. I don't really care, but it's so ridiculous when people say even in Marvel versus Capcom Infinite, I understand the X-Men wasn't there. I get it, but to say you could not find the character in that roster, it's fucking cap. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. Dante was really fucking good. Zero was really fucking good. There was a lot of good characters in
A
this.
lot of good characters. Yeah.
Characters like fucking Winter Soldier, fucking Thanos. You had Gamora. You had Jeddah. You had fucking who else? Nemesis, who's actually way better in that game than he was in fucking Ultimate versus Capcom 3. You know what I'm saying? So it's just people just really make me laugh, bro, when they just say that dumb shit, bro. Bro, I'm not saying you can't have a favorite character, right? Because we all have a favorite character that's near and dear to our heart, you know what I'm saying? But especially when it comes to reoccurring franchises, that's like somebody saying, I'm not playing Tekken unless they put Julie in or
Yeah.
fucking Nina or shit, some stupid shit like that, bro. Like Tekken 8, they be like, if Master Raven's not in the game, I'm not buying it. Even though you probably didn't even play that fucking character, bro. That's the type of stupid shit I hate. Is when people
Oh man.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you're just saying this shit because you either don't like the game or you're gonna be fucking trash. You're gonna be trash. You're gonna be
You're gonna be
trash
trash
at it,
regardless.
and then it's okay. Like everybody's not good at every fighting game unless you're like fucking the creme de la creme of this shit, bro. So it's nothing wrong with that, but this the disregarded game because a character is not in it is absolutely stupid,
It's
bro.
it makes no
It's
yeah, it's
just
dumb.
it's just so dumb, bro. That shit really like
I'm not gonna say it gets under my skin, but it's very irritating to hear when it comes to people like that because it's like, yo, you're not, you wasn't gonna buy this game from jump, so you trying to throw this little sidebar out there. It's like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna wait, until
Yeah, that's them, bro. Hey,
that's like
cat.
DNF. That's like DNF motherfuckers. Well,
Mm.
so and so nigga ain't shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. If they say that, listen, for DNF, I'm like, I'm gonna gotta stop, bro. Cause
I
nobody
don't
even
even
know
know who
what
the
this
fuck.
game was.
I don't even know who these characters are, bro.
Yeah, nobody know who the character
If
the
it's a
character
fan
was
phase, it's
before.
most likely gonna come. I just want to see these moves be like. Jamar said, no. Royal Flush said, we when we see Eagle Street, like, bro, nobody care about Eagle, bro. Like that,
Right, yo, FIFA man.
bro. Nobody
Yeah,
care
that's
about
a
that
thing,
character,
bro.
bro.
Like
Like, come
ego,
on,
like
bro. That's like where's El Fuerte, bro? Like nobody cares about these characters. Necro. If I see a nigga say Necro,
you
bro.
know what's great. You know what's crazy about the Necro, right? He was because I remember leading up to Street Fighter Six roster. A lot of people was like, "Yo, if Dawson's not gonna be in the game, it would have been him." You know what I'm saying, to replace Dawson because he's kind of like the
Yeah,
Dawson clone type character. The same
yeah.
way people said about Guile and what's his name, the other dude.
I know you talking about. I forgot his name. I know exactly,
Yeah,
bro. And that's my, and like, I didn't play Third Strike like that.
Remy.
Yeah, Remy. Yeah, Remy. Trash. That character was ass, bro.
That's the
Come on,
thing.
man. That
This is the
character
thing.
was
Like these characters
ass,
are
bro.
terrible versions of these characters. The people talking about they don't want them. Like why? Like
And why you think these characters haven't come back, man? Per se,
you know what I'm saying.
these characters have not rejoined the roster because they were just bad characters. Not even that they were bad characters, but there's better versions of these characters. I rather
Right.
fucking play Guile. Like I don't want to play Remy. Like get this nigga up out of here, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like get Remy up out of here. Get Necro up out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Necro, no lie though,
Hey,
Necro,
look,
like,
you would look weird in our region. Yeah,
no,
Hey,
yeah,
look,
Necro will actually. Necro is like one of the only Third Strike characters I actually like. Not because he's long, because he's unique, bro. Like he's Sim, but he's not Sim. You know?
he's Sim and Blanca combined. You know what I'm saying with
Yeah, you
electricity
know what
and
I'm
all that.
saying? That's cool, bro. But
Yeah,
Remy, man, come on, man. Come on, bro. You ain't gonna
yeah.
convince me Remy was cool, bro. That character was ass. And who was in the game? They had to make sure they put Akuma in the game. They had to make sure they fucking put
Hey man,
in the game, the Ryu in the game. They had to make sure them four was in the game, bro. Because like
yeah,
this shit ain't gonna sell, bro. And I'm not even hating on Third Strike. I think Third Strike is actually a really good game. Especially I started playing Third Strike a lot when that collection came out, even though it was laggy and shit.
yeah.
Just to see, because like I bypassed Third Strike, bro. I'm not gonna be one of those guys. Oh, I was playing Third Strike since not me, bro. I bypassed it. Just like
Yeah.
I bypassed fucking Street Fighter EX. All these off-brand Street Fighters. I do. You know?
Off brand joint.
Hey, Street Fighter EX is trash. Yo. That game was so trash. They was really trying to make it like Tekken, bro. Stop the cat, bro. Nobody's gonna play this, man. But overall, Dre, like when it comes to rosters, like, what's your overall thoughts before we got out of here? Because I
I
feel
do.
people be capping, bro. I hate it, man.
I do think rosters are important. Like especially for the starting rosters are pretty important for if you're trying to push a game. You know what I'm saying? Like there's certain fighting games you know these characters have to be in a roster, bro. Like they know, like regardless, you know what I'm saying. Like yeah, you can have your new characters or some obscure character, but you know the staple characters that made your game what it was. They have to be there. You know what I'm saying. And certain character that people identify with and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying. Not I did, but if and a lot of people expect this is the thing that I don't like. A lot of people expect the next game or the newer game to be like the previous game.
And it's never
And
happened.
and
It's
my in
never
my mind is
happened.
that mentality is stupid because what's the purpose of getting a new game if you're just gonna expect the old shit? You know what I'm saying? If you want these characters in this game, like yeah, they can come back. You know what I'm saying in a new game in a new way, but why you want it to be the same as what we just got? You know, I like seeing these new characters coming in Street Fighter 6 and other fighting games. I like see because I want to see what else they bring to the
You
game.
enjoy Remy? You like Remy?
I ain't saying all that. I'm just saying shit. I'm not saying. I'm saying I like because I want to see.
No,
I
I
want
mean
to see
it's a lot of hit
when
and
when
miss.
they fir- when they, when yeah,
It's a
it's
lot
a
of
hit and miss thing. And I'm always curious to see what these characters can do. You know what I'm saying? When you see the character for the first time, you don't know if they're gonna turn out good or bad. But shout out to Capcom. Capcom is one of the people that they know to put a trailer together to make a character look good. You know what I'm saying? And when the character come out, it might not be what you thought,
Hey, bro,
but
perfect
in the
example.
moment. But in the
Hey,
moment, you saw that character looks sick, and I might want to try that character out. You know what I'm saying?
perfect
But
example, Dre. Fong. Everybody
yeah,
in they motherfucking like when I first saw Fong, I was like, yo, this character look crazy. And I'm not even saying the character is bad. I don't think the character is bad per se. But yo, they
it just didn't fit.
really bad. They
Yeah, this
designed
not
him
real.
really bad. But his concept, fire. He was dope as fuck to me. Like he was like a joke
This
character
I
that
just didn't,
was supposed to fuck you up, but he really
bro.
didn't
But
fuck you up. It takes too much work.
I don't think Fong was worthy to replace Sagat, bro. I don't think he was the character for that, bro. Like, looking at this picture right now, look at that man, and he's sitting in the
Hey,
middle.
Magnificent Black, you have to rub
He,
my fade, bro.
and he's
Hey,
sitting in
Street
the
Fighter EX is trash.
middle.
That game was trash, bro. No, hey, Magnificent Black.
Combo
Give me that
breaker!
combo breaker.
Hey,
I'm
first, that's a
sorry,
fact,
bro.
bro.
You,
All of these.
the fact that you think EX is a good game, that game was terrible. That game was terrible.
Hey, nah, shout out to Roy for he said that all of these new characters. This is one of the most like excited I've been for
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 because these new characters that they show, all of them look interesting. You know what I'm saying?
They all
JP,
look, they all
Lily, all them new characters,
yo,
and
they
some of these
look
characters are different versions of characters that we know. Like we know, what's her name? The Fong apprentice lady chick. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
I,
yeah, no,
yeah,
I
JP
feel
looks
like,
fire.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yo,
so
they actually, like, we have to see him in motion, of course, but,
yeah,
like I said, anytime you bring a new character into the series, it's 50-50, bro. I mean, it's nothing you can
yeah.
do about that. I mean, look at Abigail, bro. Abigail,
Shout out to Abigail.
hey, fuck Abigail.
Shout out to Abigail, yo.
Fuck Abigail, bro. Another character
Yeah.
who
My guy.
was broken but never won no tournaments. It was actually crazy.
Facts.
My man
It
got
was
nerfed for nothing.
it was crazy, right?
My man got nerfed. I mean, he was bullshit, but he never won anything. Like,
Yeah, but he did put Cool Kid on the map though. Shout out
yeah,
to
he
Cool
did.
Kid.
Hey, yeah, shout out to my man Cool Kid. That's the bro right there. But
Yeah.
overall, man, like, you know, these new characters, and not only in Street Fighter. I mean, we could look at new characters in Mortal Kombat over the years, how they introduced so
Yeah.
many new characters, or Tekken. They introduced
Jackie.
so many new
God damn.
Jackie. Oh God, please, I'm about to throw
Ridiculous.
up, bro. Jackie
That's
Graves
Jackie.
is probably one of the worst design characters ever in Mortal Kombat, bro. The character ass in 10. Even and, even though she was really good in 11.
I don't think she was asked though. It's just that
No,
she
no,
was
she wasn't
design
ass.
wise.
It design wise,
Yeah.
it was just like,
She
okay,
just looked bland, bro. She looked like an NPC,
shoot,
dog.
shoot. We're just
Yeah.
shooting, bro. Like, it was no swag. It was nothing crazy with her. In 10, she was actually worse. 11,
And
at least she had that little dumb jumping shit she was doing. I really
11 she was
that
ridiculous.
it was more, like I say, I always say Jackie and Cammy are the worst design characters ever to me. I fucking hate them, and they was all
Yeah.
top tier.
What's wrong with Cammy,
Top
man?
tier, the worst top tier characters. I just
Yeah.
boring, bro. Like they
Hey,
don't.
she fought a 5 Cammy boring. She fought a 4 Cammy was fire.
No, Street Fighter 4 Cammy was godlike, bro. I'm not gonna hate on that. I'm just talking about Street Fighter 5 Cammy was literally so.
It was boring, though.
It was
Yeah, it was
boring, bro. It was
it was a snooze
one
fest
of the
watching her.
worst design characters, bro. Like that. But she was so good. It took like 5 seasons for them to actually nerf her. I mean, to make her normal. I don't even say nerf.
Yeah, she was regular.
That's how fucking good she was. But like I said, I think at the end of the day, Drake, like, when games take chances, I love that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right. Facts.
Like,
Facts.
you ain't gotta be. I mean, god damn, bro. How many fucking ninjas do fucking Mortal Kombat got?
Yeah.
How many
Right.
photos do Street Fighter got? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to kind of step out the box, and they're all not gonna hit. They're
Yeah, they're not.
gonna hit. at the end of the day. But I do feel like every fighting game, in my opinion, I don't think a fighting game really has a bad roster. Just say ain't nobody really fucking with you. You can't really fuck with nobody. And I'm okay. I'm okay with that. Like
Yeah.
ain't nobody really hitting for me. I'm good. But to say that, like people be saying these rosters are bad, it's cap to me. I'm sorry, bro. Like I see my man Jacko man still playing fucking Infinite, bro, and they just be going in, bro. Bane Hollows, a lot of these guys that that was in the online arcade, bro. Like, and I still watch their content, man. And it's so cool to see high level NVCI, bro. That game is crazy, bro. That game is actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Man, you said Black ain't let you off the hook, dog.
What do you say?
Man said she for the EX. No one said she for the EX took chance, but you just said you love that.
Nah, but hey, man, if say, you know what, bro? You have to rub my face, man. First to death, bro. We were whatever game you want, bro. That game was ass.
Get off your neck, brother. Man, say listen.
Hey, man, if say that game was ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? You put your fucking cars in that. I'm like, yo, this game is actually terrible. This game was, and it wasn't had nothing to do about the roster, bro. The game was his ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? The game was just trash, magnificent. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, bro. Drake, we're about to get out of here, man. Any last fun show again?
Nah, man, definitely a dope show.
Thank you guys for coming through, bro. Really,
man.
Today, man.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, definitely give them a follow, man. Yeah, I said their Twitter's in the bio, their channel, and all that. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all guys as always, man. Y'all always come through. Y'all always support. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate y'all, bro.
Man. It was really cool, man. I feel like today's show really flowed well.
Yeah.
One half, chopping it up. Other half, we right back to business. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We're gonna continue to build this, man, little by little. I know we have some subs, man. Matter of fact, let me look at these real fast before we get out of here. Because I feel like support goes a long way, man. A retweet, a like, anything, bro. Like, for small channels, we're actually trying to grow, trying to do something different. We're not definitely like me and Dre. We're not in the gaming space, bro. I don't want to do that, man. Too
many people doing that right now. You know what I'm saying? That the game is,
now. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely trying to find our own lane. And shout out to everybody that rock with us, man. I hope it's like a detour from what you guys usually do. You know what I'm saying? Let me get these subs out before we get up out of here, man. But yeah, I definitely want to say shout out to Ambro Gamer, Julian Johnson, Hustle and Motivate, Skirt, and Lighten Up Uppercut, man. Thank you for all the subs, bro. And like I said, man, we here every Friday. Again, if it's light, next week we'll definitely be here because
we need to be here.
It's gonna go crazy next week, man. So don't worry about that. But shout out to everybody that rock with us, man. Like I said, dude, if you guys want to hit us up for games, our Twitters are in the bio. I ain't no special guy, bro. I'm trying to get these games in. But that open lobby was actually fun, dude.
That was fire, man. That open lobby was fire, man.
It was fire. We was just chopping it up, having fun, talking shit, and we all cool, bro. Like, it's nothing personal. We don't do none of that.
Oh, yes. Yes, definitely. I forget. Shout out to German, man. What's up, PlayStation tomorrow, man? Definitely check them guys out. Persona, Mari.
We definitely on that What's Up PlayStation, man. Those are my bros. They always supported us, man. And I'm always gonna support them no matter what. So make sure you go to their channel. It's in the description, man. And yeah, man, we about to get up out of here, man. I'm kind of hungry. They're doing a lot of talking, you know what I'm saying? But Dre, you're my bro for life, man.
You already know, man.
We up out of here.
Sir, y'all.